You made it, you BEA, beautiful souls. Welcome back to the channel. Solid Soul here, and we're going to be making a new tier list on our matchmaking lobbies. This video consists of all types of variables, whether your teammates have brain rot, whether they are unemployed, staring 2 inches from their screen, and of course not having single pick, which is going to completely change a character if there's 2 of them, because 2 of these characters, such as Jiang or nobushi, just bleeding you to death, maybe even 2 orochis and 2 aramushas, is going to be absolutely cancerous and nightmarish to deal with, and it'll have to change your playstyle tremendously. So we're just going to go over what I think about all these characters, where they place on their carry tiers and their crap tiers. A lot of balanced characters out there right now, if I do say so myself. A lot of balanced characters and a lot of characters that will need some nerfing on their feats overall, maybe just some hitbox adjustments. But, you know, I'd say this game is in a pretty decent state when it comes to the overall state of the game when you compare it to like maybe 3 years ago. And as per usual, a character that has a ton of tools in their arsenal: crushing counters, hidden stance, clutch potential, high damage values, great OOS pressure, and amazing punishment. You know, those characters with hyper armor and dodge cancels are just gonna be so much better than characters that don't have it. So it's pretty self-explanatory. Some things will just make or break a character, even though they may be quite simple in comparison to others. First, we're gonna do a different type of, template here for my usual tier list. Usually I'll have including some gameplay, but the thing is that I think this is gonna be a lot better of a template where I showcase the moves that I think are strong and, moves that the characters have that can be utilized more effectively, and maybe perhaps just go over a little bit of the weaknesses that the character have. And she's easily an S tier pick, your carry hero. Just start off by some of the strongest parts about her kit. So as you know, these bleed lights, they do quite a bit of damage, and if they are bleeding, nobushi gets a crap ton of damage right there. 35 damage for finisher and 29 damage for the neutral heavy. Absolutely ridiculous character. And the strongest part of our kit is that she can outrange you from afar. So if you decide to actually push into her and she's ready to light you, one of the biggest mistakes you should do with nobushi, against nobushi, because you want to play very patiently against her, especially if you're bleeding. This move right here from hidden stance is much faster than 500 ms. It has hidden indicators, so you can easily block this if you're paying attention, but if you are not, then you will get hit by this and you have to respect it. And then of course comes into her mix-up with their kick being buffed tremendously. Absolutely crazy buff. It has new range now, so you can hit people from pretty far away, and you can guarantee that wall splat too. So keep that in mind. If you are against a wall here, nobushi can be very scary. She's not scary against someone who is a retard, with her chain badge being only 566 ms, but for players that are not reacting and they are not 2 inches from the screen, this mix-up is actually quite deadly because of all the damage you can get. Because if you're bleeding, you are going to take so much damage. You have to respect this and try to react to it. She can bleed and stack forever, and all of that will not go away when someone has revenge. That's why I deem her one of the strongest characters, especially if you are ganking with her. She has a lot of good ganks, very high damage, and that bleed stacks super freaking far. There's just nothing you can do. You have to respect nobushi if you are fighting against her, and they just buffed her recently with that dodge attack. You see how far that dodge distance is? It is tremendous. It is probably very unnecessary due to having so much strength in her kit. This is her sidewinder. They also buff the distance of this as well. Granted, it's not a great dodge attack because the iframes go away when you do initiate and press the heavy attack, but it's a very good team fight initiator. If you manage to get someone clipped on it, you can start off that and go into your unblockable mix-up right here, or you can go ahead and go into a undodgeable if they're not reacting to it. So that's so much damage. Her having undodgeables is incredibly helpful. Her hidden stance is also absolutely one of the best tools in the game right now, due to having iframes, being able to zone out of it, being able to dodge out of it. You can dodge a lot of mix-ups with doing this move right here. You dodge and you press hidden stance. This top one is slower, so keep that in mind, but the side one is the one you want to be using as much as possible. This top one can throw people off on the timings, on how slow they are. You can also do some cool tricks like this. So if you hidden stance and you can delay that kick tremendously right there. This is the buffered input, and this is the delayed input right there. So it's a trick for nobushi players if you guys don't know that yet. And if you guys saw there, she has one of the best bash ranges there in the entire game. You can literally wall splat from super freaking far away. So nobushi, absolutely top tier against like matchmaking lobbies and team fights. The only weakness she has is her duels. As you can see, if you block everything she does, she has no opener whatsoever. This also, if you just light on reaction, you should be fine for the most part. Speedy revive, absolutely top tier. Body count, she's the best in mid lane. Arrow strike, you always want to go for that. Very fast cooldown and does 45 damage. Absolutely insane. Never run any of these. I mean, I've seen people use smoke bomb nowadays, but arrow strike is definitely the meta and best pick. Second win, longbow, absolutely insane. Stalwart banner and fire trap, always your go-to. Like there's Nobushi is top tier for her feats and her damage, so that's what I would say about her. Nobushi, definitely a very strong S tier pick, very easy to use and gets a lot of damage. Now with Kensei is a little bit more tricky. Kensei is definitely going to fall in the A- range. He's one of those characters that feel balanced, in my opinion. So you'll have a lot to work with here, but it's a lot slower than other characters. He has this forward light that is pretty solid, goes into your chain mix-ups, into your unblockable mix here. The strongest part about his kit is going to be that wall splat. So if he's in that wall splat range, you're going to have a wonderful time because you do so much damage. 34 damage, top heavy. He has great peel, great range, just like Nobushi here. And he has these soft feints here. Do you see that? Those soft feints are pretty freaking cool. He can soft feint from like all sides here, go into a hyper armor finisher. He also has soft feints from here as well from his neutral heavy attack. Very cool. And he also has 500 miss chain light attacks, but mind you, these are all reactable and most PC players will not get hit by this unless they are playing very methodically and delaying as much as possible. So if you delay these light attacks, they will be a lot harder to react to, and if the person gets very impatient like myself, they will try to go for a parry and eat a raw heavy, and these do a lot of damage. And so you can go into this pommel strike, into a light attack, into your finisher, go into a double pump, and go into that and let it fly and do a lot of damage. So he has great peel and amazing range, a good zone attack that is feintable as well, so you can do that. Really good dodge attack as well if you want to target swap this, go into your unblockable mix-up or go for some trades on team fights. Kensei definitely is underrated, and he's one of those characters that feel very balanced in comparison to the rest of the cast, just because you feel fair, you feel like it's a fair fight, you know, you feel like you got outplayed by Kensei when you do fight against a good Kensei. For this move also can track a lot of people who have very good iframes, so that's one of the greatest strengths about Kensei is that he has very good hitboxes on his finisher heavies, and once you go into a soft feint, go into a GB mix right here, free damage. So it's a really good roll catcher. You can feint it, but it has amazing range. It can go into your mix-up right here, a lot of soft feintable moves here. And I think that's one of Kensei's greatest strengths is being able to soft feint. I think he's very easy to pick up, but I think he's a little bit harder to carry with. You have to work your ass off. Feats right here, like I said, there's not much to say about Kensei. He's fairly balanced, and I think, to be fair, he's probably a little bit underbalanced. If they made that forward light enhance, he'd be so much strong. He'd be like in line with Gryphon. So I would run body count or fast recovery, so you can stay in the mid lane and continue to fight. A lot of people tend to run Inspire more, but I like Chilling Stare because I like to just use it and make it so that, you know, you don't have to like stay in the fight if you don't have to, and your teammates can get that debuff that will help defeat their opponents much easier. And so I would run longbow. Second wind is also really helpful too, but you know, more damage is always good because you can finish off people who are about to get revenge. It's really helpful. Second wind if you want to do more anti-ganking, but with the Varangian guard, full blocking characters like aramusha existing, I think it's gonna make Kensei's dodge attacks a nightmare to deal with, or just playing Kensei a nightmare to deal with against those characters. Aerostorm is still pretty decent, unblockable, a solid pick, and Stalwart Banner, of course, that's just OG. So up next we have the Orochi, and Orochi did get nerfed a while back where his Storm Rush is not undodgeable anymore when it comes to the left and the right one. They are still enhanced, but I mean most Orochis will be using this top Storm Rush anyways, which is the undodgeable mix that will set that pin up for characters to throw out their heavies. So Orochi's main tool is going to be this kick mix-up, forward dodge into light, forward dodge into light, forward dodge into undodgeable. So that's going to be the mix-up in general. Storm Rush is reactable, but when you mix it up with doing this, with empty dodges, with a lot of feints like this, a lot of feints into GBs, that's his entire mix-up. And these very strong heavies that deal 28 damage and can clip people from a bajillion miles away. He has very good tracking on those huge hitboxes. And you can do some crazy mix-ups here. You can do this, you can go into this here, another dodge like that. That's one of his best mix-ups in my opinion. Someone who's going to be reacting to this is going to have a tough time if they are going to be, you know, in big team fights. Orochi is still an absolute menace because he has such an oppressive style of playstyle here. As you can see here, a lot of mix-ups here. If you're not reacting to this forward dodge light, that's enhanced too, by the way. You'll go into this mix-up here, go into his unblockable, that deals a crap ton of damage, and you have to respect Orochi still. I think Orochi, even though he got nerfed when it comes to his Storm Rush, this still exists, and you can do this in team fights all the time still. This only does not work if they have a varangian guard or an aramusha or someone that doesn't know that external attacks exist and target swap moves exist. So Orochi is still going to be very easy to play. I'm putting him up in carry tier still. He's not as strong as he used to be, but I still think he's one of the best characters in the game. This double light also is very helpful because you can delay it for your teammates if they're not ready for it. Usually this is the normal speed, but if you delay it like that right there, it can really mess up people's timings. Bop, and really throw them off. So it's something that you could definitely try utilizing. You could also do it with the zone attack as well. Really throws people off, and you can delay your heavy attacks right there. So, and that's why Orochi's still incredibly strong. He can also get away really quickly because he has fast run speed. And I mean, there's not much to say about Orochi. He's still an S tier in my opinion. Every time I play him, I don't need to think at all, and I absolutely carry and stomp players. But when I start to focus up a little bit, he has amazing deflex, very strong deflex. You guys have seen it before, automatically guarantees, and it stops people from hyper armoring. Right here is Orochi's feats. You want to run Bounty Hunter. For sure, Ki got nerfed a while ago, so it only takes like 80% of the stamina, or 80 stamina. You want to run Kunai because this deals 15 damage, is on a 30-second cooldown, and it's 400 MS, incredibly fast. Longbow is insane. Sharpened Blade is also really good too, and Slip Through is also go-to. Nail Bomb, Fear Itself, Arrow Storm, all these are solid feats. Longbow, you go full projectile, and you can't go wrong with Orochi. He still does a crap ton of damage and kills enemies really quickly. Moving on to Shugoki here, I think you have to respect Shugoki to a tremendous degree. He's going to be an easy S tier carry hero. So much hyper armor, so much safe utility, and let's just go over that really quickly for you guys. So Shugoki's forward dodge, headbutt. If he misses that, he can go into hyper armor heavy, and if he gets it, I mean, he still gets 10 damage, easy 10 damage, and go into your unblockable mix right here. Very scary mix up here. And if this is this forward dodge heavy, I mean, this heavy attack right here can also track people who dodge this headbutt. So if you have a dodge attack, you have to respect it and make sure you do not eat that heavy attack. Sometimes you just have to dodge and not go for your dodge attack. Characters like Orochi or Berserker can easily kind of evade this mix-up, but it's kind of a read upon of a read, because once Shugoki tests you and feints it and you go for another dodge attack, that's a free light parry and goes into the hug gank right here. Free damage, gets your health back for Shugoki. He also has really good wall travel as well. I mean, wall throw distance, so you have to respect that. Wall splat gets you free hugs, absolutely game changer. Heavies are variable timed, so he can throw out level 1s and level 2s right there. So if you're not a parry god and you can't react to the Shugoki hug, I mean the Shugoki heavy attacks, you're gonna have a rough time. He also has that chain 5 MS bash, which is very strong. And if you do, of course, dodge that chain bash, you have to eat this heavy attack as well. So it's kind of a mix-up upon a mix-up. He's very strong in that regard, deals a lot of damage here. And this Demon Ball will guarantee a light attack if you are close by. You can also do a zone attack as well. The only weakness I would say for Shugoki is that, you know, when you guard break someone in anti-gank situations, not that powerful. I would like to say that you kind of have to utilize that zone attack, otherwise you get trapped in this idle animation and you can get guard broken very easily. So main mix-up is going to be forward dodge bash, hyper armor galore on literally everything. Insane, makes him untouchable. Goes into his chain mix-up. Has a crap ton of iframes, but if you do manage to make a read and punish his side dodge bash, it is a free guard break. So Shugoki, absolutely menace with a good roll catcher, into chain mix-up, into so much damage, and health swings to a crazy degree. So you have to respect the crap out of him. One of the easiest characters to play. I don't need to think at all when I play this character. He's very easy to gank with too. Just don't spam random hugs all the time. Just wait till someone gets hit by heavy attacks, you can confirm it. Because his heavy attacks are reactable, but you need to you have to pay attention. If you're not paying attention, you're gonna eat so much damage. And for Shugoki, his feats are pretty freaking good too. Speedy Revive, Throw Farther, Iron Lungs, like I said, very easy way to get when I was talking about him having really good wall splat. That's because if you use this tier 1, you can easily get someone throw someone like halfway across the map and still get a wall splat and get a hug. And with short tempered, I would run short tempered. It's incredibly strong because you get 20% more damage after taking damage. It can be chip damage, and you get way more damage in general. Short temper is really good. Juggernaut's also insane for stalling. Absolutely insane staller. Great anti-ganker and staller. Punch through is insane on him as well because those very timed heavies. Longbow is also insane. I mean, you kind of just want to run that for 50 damage. That is a projectile and you can't even see it. Staggering blow is insane. Regenerate, arrow storm. You can't really go wrong with shugoki. Absolute S tier, no doubt. And up next we have Sohei. Sohei got buffed recently and he basically has hyper armor and everything now. So before he was a character that required a little bit of finesse and a little bit of know-how, but they made him pretty streamlined. And it definitely skyrocketed him up into the brain rot tier. I'm gonna put him right up there in A tier. This guy is insane now. You could literally just no brain hyper armor everything and get free dubs. Now the thing with Sohei, he has huge hitboxes on his zone attack, so you have to respect that in team fights. You can use it from neutral now that zone attack has hyper armor, so you can use it to just throw whatever you want. Like, you don't even need to have a care in the world with Sohei now, because with his chain form has light attacks that are unreactable, very good because you can grab souls with his kit. It just makes him a lot scarier to deal with because you can access those unblockables whenever you want now. So that's kind of the neat thing about Sohei, because before you had to like play very methodically and choose what punish to utilize. If you get a parry, you can do a light attack or a heavy attack that gets into your mix-up, but now you can just throw whenever you want. So Sohei definitely feels a lot easier to use, and with access to so much hyper armor, I really think they made the character like just hyper armor galore. You know, hyper armor always makes and breaks a character. 95 damage, and if they have the tier 1 debuff, it is just a crap ton of damage. He also has a forward dodge light, which is pretty cool, very good for roll catching, and this forward dodge heavy also is a decent roll catcher too, but I will say that you can't feint it. He also has hyper armor on his neutral heavies now, so that's great, right? And with Sohei, like I said before, I think Sohei, he is a character that you don't have to think too much with, and you can get a lot of value from him and one-shot people that try to parry you. You know, if you're going for parries on Sohei, that's the wrong thing to do, in my opinion. Like, if you want to play safe, you want to play smart and not feed and give him all of his souls, then Sohei is not going to be as menacing. But even so, he has access to so much hyper armor and blockables now. I think he's going to be a lot easier to use. So a lot of people have been picking up and just throwing out raw heavies and zone attacks because they have such huge hitboxes. And so a lot of people run Eye of the Demon, probably his best one. Lowers defense. Soul Soother is absolutely insane for anti-ganking and stalling. You can heal yourself if you have all your 6 souls, really insane. And then of course, Ancillary Might is going to give you a 25% boost while you have all your 6 souls, so it's pretty helpful. And then of course we have Soul Waker, which instantly gives you all 6 souls. Pretty brain rot and pretty self-explanatory. Sohei doesn't really need too much thinking because he gets so much value just from people trying to parry, and you have so much hyper armor, so it's easy dubs. Next up is going to be Shinobi. Shinobi is going to be an easy S tier carry character. I think once you know a few things about him, the character becomes absolutely god tier and untouchable, and probably one of the most annoying characters out there. So fun to play as, I'm not gonna lie to you, I got like 45 reps or 50 reps on him, but is absolutely cancerous due to a few parts of his kit. So with Shinobi, he has a lot of tools in his arsenal. You guys have probably seen this a lot. The double dash here, double dash into kick mix-up, going into your somersault mix-up, into an unblockable heavy. That lands easy ganks here, right there, boom. That's when your teammate throws a heavy attack. And this right here is gonna be super scary. You can react, you can't, it's hard to react to this because he jumps in the air. He also jumps in the air with that, so you have to like go into, you have to like look at his animation, so it can be very hard to tell. His lights have very good range too, as you can see here. Look at that, super far away, just like Nobushi, and he can double tap as well, delay him ever slightly, and he goes into his undodgeable mix-up right there. So boom, 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 easy peasy. You have so much space, you can double dodge around, you can option select people who do that. with his double dodge mechanics, you can easily opt to select people who have a chain bash or an undodgeable mix-up. So with access to forward dodge bash or anything, you can easily punish with the dodge kick right here. You can also double dodge as well. If you guys didn't know, you can back dodge into a side dodge as well. So you can easily punish people with huge amounts of iframes that goes into your chain mix-up. So you kind of have to respect Shinobi to a tremendous degree. You have to make like a second read and be like, oh, is this guy gonna do another bash, a side dodge bash? And so that's why Shinobi is so scary. Very good roll catcher as well. Into unblockable mix here. Super strong for ganking. That's probably his greatest tool. His anti-ganking is also very good too. You just have to know a few things about his kit and get ready to like outspace your opponents. That's one of his greatest tools, is being able to outspace people and walking backwards like this right here and doing dodges, being able to punish people. You can also go into a double dodge and hit people with a light attack or a zone attack as well. As you can see here, boom. A lot of crazy tools that this character has. Shinobi's feats are absolutely god tier as well. I mean, bounty hunter and stealth, absolutely insane, and this is absolutely broken. Shooting stars, I cannot tell you how many times I've been hit by 80 damage for tier 2 simply by trying to guard break him, and that is absolutely borderline. It's not even borderline, bro. It's absolutely broken. I'm just surprised that the devs actually haven't just removed this feat altogether. It's so problematic, exactly like aramushas and shugokis, and it was Rocksteady. Rocksteady was absolutely disgusting, and they kept it for the game a very long time. But shooting star, absolutely problematic, needs to get deleted ASAP. Is so fast. It's 300 MS, 90-second cooldown for a tier 2, and shoots 20 damage, 5 shurikens. Like, ridiculous range, and it's unseeable. I think if you also do a dodge attack when he throws out his shooting stars, he can also deflect you depending on when you did the dodge attack. And so Nuki absolutely insane. Slip through is also really good too. Nuki just makes him have infinite stamina, so fighting Shinobi with infinite stamina and having Yama Uba, which gives you health on your each attacks, is so cancerous. It's actually hilarious and cancerous. Nail Bomb's also really good too, but with Shinobi, absolutely easy S tier. Hitokiri is next up in line, and this is a very easy S tier pick. You can absolutely stop matchmaking lobbies with her. There's just no way you can go wrong with her. I mean, she just absolutely has so much going for her. Just like Shugoki, she has a variable timed heavy attack, so if you cannot parry these attacks, you're gonna eat so much chip damage, and you're gonna eat just her entire mix-up, because she does have a kick mix-up. This is reactable to high-level players, but you can also flicker it at the end and make it so that it's a lot harder to react to. So this is one thing that's going for Hitokiri, but as you can see here, variable timed heavies. If you are not blocking, I mean, if you're not parrying her, 4 heavies will equal to a light attack, so it's very, very important that you try to parry her. But of course, Hitokiri can easily guard break you and get massive amounts of damage here. So it's one of her greatest tools, just throwing heavies. And heavy attacks are all you really need. She's the one-button character, okay? She's literally the one-button character. You can throw some kicks if you want. This will guarantee a heavy attack. You can also guard break for if they try to dodge, which is really good. And you can delay it tremendously too. See that flicker right there? You can flicker that. You can practice it if they want to try to react. If they're reacting to the kick mix-up, that's what you would do essentially. But boom shakalaka, unblockable heavies do a crap ton of damage. They did get nerfed to 30 damage, used to do 34, but this is insanely good for ganking because you don't want to get hit by this, and you can't trade with her because she has hyper armor at the end. So hyper armor on everything, hyper armor on chain heavies, hyper armor on finisher heavies, and it's an okay roll catcher. It's not the best, but it is still good. It works well. If you know that they're gonna dodge roll, you can just do that, easy peasy. Good zone attack as well. You know, she's a solid character that doesn't really have any glaring weaknesses because her dodge attack is also really good, has a pretty good hitbox. Card swap is very easily going to your unblockable mix-up, going to your kick mix-up, and you know, Hitokiri just a safe, strong pick that the average matchmaking player will not be able to handle, because this heavy attack will also trap people who dodge early or dodge in any specific timing. These timings on his variable timed heavies, you cannot do anything about them besides going for the parry, and if you miss the parry, well then you're just gonna eat so much damage. As for feats, I would definitely run Deliverance. You could run Fast Recovery, but getting that guarantee execution, having to force the person that you're fighting against guard break you or bash you, is just a huge boon in my opinion. Tainted Gift is nice because after someone executes or kills them, you get that healing bonus, which is really really cool, but I always run righteous deflection or bloodlust. Bloodlust is really good too, but I feel like she's more of like a tank instead of someone who tries to kill really quickly, because she's gonna be trying to gank with her unblockable heavies. You may or may not get the final kill, but righteous deflection for more damage reduction, basically Juggernaut, which is nice. Heal and block can be helpful, but Nuki Kubi is absolutely insane because you can just keep throwing heavies, absolutely ridiculous. Zenban Zakura, really good for confirming easily. Just have a guard, someone who can just guard break, and you throw that out, easy peasy. You die no matter what. And then Fear itself is also solid. Regenerate is pretty silly comparative to like Zenban Sakura and Fear itself, but you can run that if you wanted to. So easily S tier pick. Great for anti-gate, great for stalling, literally all around solid character. Very underrated. Just underrated. And this is aramusha basically, using all of the soft feints possible. As you can see, you can go into a finisher now, very strong. Also blockades after every single move. Goes into this disgusting looking animation. But after a missed finisher, you can easily go into a blockade to keep himself safe from pretty much most characters. Chain heavies, as you can see, deals so much damage. 24 on the top, side ones with huge hitboxes, deals 30, and continues to have a huge hitbox and deals so much damage. And if you want to try, if someone wants to try dodging, go into unblockable. Do that again, boom, shakalaka. So much mix-up potential that it is crazy. Aramusha is probably one of the easiest characters to use now with this forward dodge heavy, also having hyper arm, which is nice. Goes to unblockable mix. Like, you don't want to try to dodge this character that much anymore since he is so versatile when it comes to his punishes, being able to track you with that. It's super scary fighting Aramusha now because he can just soft feint literally everything, and if he lets stuff fly, then he can easily be safe from so many things. Unless the character has like neutral unblockables or a side dodge bash, that's something that Aramusha is only weak against, but if he baits that out, well, you're gonna have a really tough time, you know, dealing with the Aramushas. So right there, this character is one of the easiest heroes to use now. Very strong, good roll catcher. Overall, you know, decent ganks as well with Ring the Bell. Easy to finish someone off that is about to pop revenge. So that's also really strong for Aramusha, but not much else to say. You can pick him up and easily just stomp the lobbies. As for his feats, I would definitely run Deadly. Deals more damage overall. Juggernaut is good if you want to be a tank, but Short Temper I think is definitely the way to go. You have way more damage when you do take some damage, whether it's just chips, so it's just very vital and important for him to get so much damage on his chain heavy attacks. Absolutely insane with huge hitbox. Second Wind, Sharpened Blade, Flaming Arrow, they're all solid picks. Sharpened Blade could be helpful to deal a lot of damage because you can get a lot of chip damage in there. Second Wind is helpful because a lot of fire flash and burning stuff with Zhanhu's fire. All of his tier 3s are good. Stalwart, Banner for yourself, and Aerostorm. Absolutely menace to deal with. Aramusha is absolutely one of the scariest characters in the game right now. Definitely a top tier pick. Up next we have Kyoshin. Kyoshin is definitely going to be a strong A tier pick. Definitely nothing wrong with the character and nothing really, there's no glaring issues about the character at all. Absolutely insane ganker and an okay anti-ganker installer as well. So what makes Kyoshin so strong is that he has the light into undodgeable mix-up or light into bash mix-up, as you can see here. Very good. It goes into his Kaze stance right here. If you don't parry that, boom shakalaka, easy amount of damage, and this is his strongest part of his kit. Boom, 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 boom. Being able to delay that ever so slightly so your teammates can land some heavy attacks is very important for anybody using Kyoshin. Absolutely can't just deal with, and they feed little to no revenge. Very good roll catcher, goes into your chain mix-up. Very good zone attack that is very identical to Orochi, very similarly identical, and goes into also a zone Kaze stance. But although this is very slow, this is a very reactable. I would not use that unless you're target swapping, so that hits people around him. This has very good surprising range as well. Also crushing counters if you decide to go for that. You can continue into your chain mix up here. Go into this, boom, boom. Crushing counter if you expect it. Crushing counter properties aren't that generous though, and they can be very hard to land, so you kind of have to time it right. If you don't, then you're going to be kind of screwed. He also has undodgeable finisher lights, which is very helpful. But like I said, the greatest part about this character is this ganking mechanic. This is absolutely god tier. He is one of the no-brainiest brain rot character out there simply because he does one thing, and it's this. It's literally this. Confirm it with the light attack. Someone hits you externally, boom, it's free damage. He's one of the scariest characters to be up against. In a 1v2 situation, you're pretty much screwed 9 times out of 10 against a Kyoshin or someone that knows how to gank with Kyoshin. After that, boom, 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 you're screwed. You can do this, cancel and do some crazy shenanigans. Do that, do some crazy shenanigans like here. Lets him raw heavies fly, boom, shakalaka. And he's a really cool character, don't get me wrong, but I think he's fairly boring to play against, for sure. Let's not forget that he also has crushing counters that goes into his mix-up, so very safe when it comes to trying to external target swap attacks. But if you look here, look how much damage I am able to utilize and get out of that. That's from a tier 1, mind you. That is from a tier 1. That heavy attack does more damage, and this guy has no chance if I stay in full block. If he starts guard breaking me, boom, into my chain mix-up. Kari to Kage, which is also really nice, or go for tough as nails. So really up to you. This one just allows you to utilize 1 and 2 on every single move that you do. So it can be helpful getting your HP back. And then otherwise using this tier 4 is the one that you want to be using, because the tier 4 allows you to just make it so that everyone stands still, and you have to be careful and try and dodge this. Dodge to the side, don't dodge backwards because it will catch you. Next we have is going to be Medjay. Now Medjay, he is definitely one of those characters that can just throw attacks, but you can easily get punished for it if you just do it willy-nilly. And I think Medjay right now, he's in a pretty underrated spot at the moment. I'm gonna put him in A- tier. He's not the strongest character out there. He does have some strengths and some weaknesses, but overall with his staff form, it's not the best tool for 1v1s. You can just chain into a heavy into light attack or go into hyper armor finisher, but they did give him a nice quality of life change, which is going to be this right here. It's Nomad Swing. You can transition into different moves here, go into an unblockable finisher for his dual axe. This is going to be your dueling stance. You can easily get into unblockable mix-up here. Go into a nice damage, 23 damage heavy for some reason, and you also have a chain bash here as well. That is 5 RMS. That only deals 9 damage, unfortunately, but you can deal more by doing this stance swapping. But of course, you swap back to staff form. There's some crazy tricks with them that you can utilize to get an edge on your opponent. But if they know it already, like if I swap into my staff form here, right here, I can easily, if I'm in my staff form and I swap back to my axe form, as you saw there, like they would think that you'd throw a side light like this, but instead it's a side light that is back to staff form. So a lot of players are going to be confused by that. So you kind of like learn that matchup. If you're not gonna learn it, then you're gonna be a little bit confused. But once you know that, Medjay overall doesn't really have that much going for him. He's pretty strong, like he's an okay character when it comes to balance wise, but this move right here doesn't really track. His chain heavy does not track at all. So you have to rely on this here. He also has a finisher, light attack that can be very helpful if people try to dodge the 5 bash, but his damage is so lackluster that it's kind of just better to take those hits anyways, because you don't really want to take a GB mix up here. He also has pretty good recoveries too if he does whiff his bash, so you can easily not get guard broken, which is great. There's some really cool tricks and mix-ups you can do with him. Grab right there and you can transition into a lot of cool stuff here. Don't use this from neutral because it's a free guard break and you definitely don't want to do that. So Medjay, definitely a strong character that is not too freaking OP. Decent anti-ganking, I would say, and very good ganking. But, just watch out because a lot of Medjays are very dodge attack happy, very good hitbox on that, and can easily get debated by aramushas, full block characters like Varangian Guard and Blackfire. For feats, you would definitely just want to run the basic default sets: Sunshine, Strength, Moonlight Drain. If you get executions on certain forms, staff or axe, you get attack and defense buff, which is really nice. You can run heal on block, second wind, or scarab relief. I like using a scarab relief, then you can heal your teammates, which is really cool. And of course, always be running astral manifestation. Honestly, I did not even know that Medjay had catapult. I honestly did not know. But for some reason he does. But obviously just run astral manifestation because this is a freaking 70 damage projectile that can be 77 damage if you have your tier 1 buff. So kind of a no-brainer. Shoot it from a mile away and your opponent won't even know it hit them. So hawktun is the next one in the Outlanders, and honestly she's a bit tricky because I think she is someone that is not overpowered but definitely not underpowered either. I mean, she does have like a lot of bad matchups, but like at the highest level of play, obviously I think she'd be a lot weaker, but overall against matchmaking players, people who aren't like paying attention too much, I think she's a solid character. Like A- are like my solid tier characters that probably need like a few buffs here and there, but if you buff them too much, they might become way too strong. But I think she's in like an okay spot. She definitely needs some touches to her kit, but she's a deflect god, deflect monster, full block. I would say it's kind of like a full block to be honest, but she's kind of like aramusha, heavy into soft feint, heavy into soft feint, heavy into soft feint. The neat thing about her is that these heavy attacks will track people with side dodge bashes. So characters like lawbringer, or even shugoki, these heavies into finisher heavies will track them. It's absolutely insane. So that's one of her greatest strengths for 1v1ing certain characters, and it just deals so much damage that it's crazy. Like it's really good for her, honestly. And so her dodge attacks are also really good too, very good. And as you can see, going into that dodge mix-up right here, this mix-up is a full block. It's a full block that guarantees full blocks attacks, and you can get a nice wall slide when you do get that finisher. People are not going to be trying to interrupt you. They can try to deflect you, but you can easily just do this and go into your pin mix-up. And if there's a wall nearby, boom, shakalaka. And you can soft feint into a light attack if you wanted to. If you want to do it in an anti-gank situation or stalling situation, you want to go into that. And you can also dodge out of certain moves too, if you wanted to try evade mix-ups, because you don't want to commit to that all the time. You don't want to commit to that. Also have a hyper armor move here, but the tracking is, the hitboxes are okay, and sometimes the hyper armor doesn't come out in time, which is a bit weird. But overall, the character definitely isn't that weak. She has some bad matchups against hyper armor, but she's not a weak character in my opinion. Just needs a few tweaks to make her a little bit stronger. She also has a forward dodge heavy that is feintable, and she has a soft feint kick mix-up within her attacks. As you can see there, very cool, very strong, and goes into her dodge right away. And the pin sets up some very nasty ganks. She's a ganker character, not really, the best anti-ganker, because some nice plays with her, and I think she's really cool and solid to play around with. Zone attack is what you want to be using to get into just like a few fast damage attacks. And that's pretty much the character right there. When she does this right here, I tend to wait a little bit longer. Try not to light right away, because a lot of hawktuns will try to bait out certain things or go into unblockable mix-up. And that is when you can light them or zone attack them very easily to get some good damage in. That's my tip of the day. Tips from Solid Soul. As for her feats, I would definitely just try to use Relentless, because your soft feints are going to be the main bread and butter of your kit. You could run Bounty Hunter if you wanted to. I mean, Bounty Hunter is really nice, but you are soft feinting so much that I think it's super important for you to utilize that. Brutal is also really great too. You could also run Inspire as well for more damage, but I mean, Brutal just it's synergized with your kit really well. Basically just run all the default stuff if you wanted to. Punch through can be helpful too, because a lot of people are going to be trying to block your heavy attacks, but giving like your teammates more damage with an AoE aura is just incredibly beneficial. And ultimate punishment is a 400 ms 20 damage unblockable heavy attack. It's pretty hard to parry. I don't think I've parried this yet, and it's only on 45 second cooldown, so it initiates gangs and deals a crap ton of damage. And with your tier 3, not tier 3, but after your tier 2, I think it's about, I forgot what the number is, but it's a pretty high damage. It's like 50 damage or something like that, so it's pretty freaking strong. Next up is going to be afeera, and afeera, obviously no brainer, absolutely carry tier. She's got so much utility in her kit, and she's fairly easy to play too. I'm not gonna lie to you, fairly easy to play. Let's just quickly go over her feats right away. I feel like this is gonna be much faster than going the other route. If I could find afeera here. So afeera's, you kind of just want to run her default stuff. Her default stuff is so good. Gravity pull, easy gank, 50 damage, fast cooldown, 500 ms. Most people aren't going to be dodging this. Fortune's Favor is okay, but I would run Thoroughly Comeback on every single character. Every single character that has Thoroughly Comeback, run Thoroughly Comeback, because you HP after Revenge. Speeding Comet, full block, running Chaser that makes so that normal attacks will get full blocked, easy free damage, and does so much damage. Orbiting Shield is really nice, regenerates also really good. Stalwart Banner also insane. I mean, just a very good tier 4 selection, and running the defaults with Thoroughly Comeback is a no-brainer. Like, it's so easy to play this character, you get so much value. So with afeera, you have a ton of utility, a very good dodge attack, crushing counter, light attacks, and finisher light attacks. You also have a chase tool here that can be utilized by being super far away. You can chase them down, boom, free damage. Feintable bash that can be easily feinted right there, get a lot of damage. Keep in mind, the left heavy does 24 damage, the right one does 22. Go into your undodgeable mix-up. Boom, shakalaka. This says iframes. Go into another kick, somersault mix-up. So she's got a lot going for her. Boom, shakalaka. Boom, shakalaka. You can go for a light attack easily if they try to dodge. You want to be safe, go into the safe route. You can do another one. This one right here, the left side heavy is going to wall splat. Hold on. Boom, shakalaka, boom. Top heavy for a wall splat for 35 damage on either light parry, heavy parry, or just landing that bash in general. She also has a deflect too, which is really cool. Yeah, I couldn't do it. I didn't think I did in time. But basically, it does 16 damage that goes into your bash. Boom. You can also get a deflect into wall splat. So it's got so much utility. It's absolutely insane on the things that she could do. You can go light into light, somersault. This is guaranteed. She gets a parry, you get wall splatted. It's actually hilarious. Too slow right now. Never mind, too fast. So wall splat, boom shakalaka, finisher, does a crap ton of damage, goes into your mix-up here. Another one right there. So if you go with deflect, she is literally the best and the queen of all deflects and characters. So she's the best character, in my opinion. I mean, she's not the best. I'd say she's one of the best characters in general. She's just so freaking sweet. Look at that. So cool to do crazy mix-ups. Crushing counters, boom shakalaka. Nothing you can do about it. Next we have Pirate. Now Pirate did give some major nerfs, deservingly so, and it makes her character a little bit, you know, in line with everyone else and not so overtuned, but still she's gonna be a solid A tier character. Now let's just quickly go over the feats. I'll discuss her nerfs afterwards, but for tier 1, you want to be running Armor Piercing Slug or Tireless or Bounty Hunter. These are all solid picks. I mean, if you want to shoot people, be an American, go with this Armor Piercing Slug, but both of these are fine. Always run Thrilling Comeback, absolutely insane. You can run Bloodless if you want, but she has like an Aegis build, shield build that makes her unkillable, so I would always run this and run that Aegis build. Trick Shot is insane. Gunpowder Surprise, always run this, absolutely insane. And then of course Indomitable with that Aegis build setup. And so with Pirate, before she could always dodge attack and dodge attack, but now she can't do it anymore. Even on hit, she cannot do it. So that's a huge nerf because she had one of the best rotations when it comes to like team fighting, because you could literally fly super freaking far. But now she has to commit to an undodgeable light or a finisher heavy attack. Biggest nerfs that made her a lot weaker, but more fair to play against because it's just absolutely cancerous to play against. So Pirate consists of doing this: unblockable heavy until walk the plank. But the best tool for her, in my opinion, is going to be this move right here, which is Cavalier Dance. It's going to have hyper armor. It's going to be very fast. You're going to have to like react like crazy. This is reactable right here, but most players are not going to be doing that. So that's why I like using this one a lot more, because it's so fast. People need a break from reacting to unblockable flickers. And she also has a finisher light attack that is undodgeable. This is going to be so helpful, although you will use a lot of stamina. Just be careful, be mindful of that. But it's just so strong. It does 16 and it's 17 damage, and you can easily get so much value from it with the hyper armor follow-up, boom shakalaka. And then sometimes you can mix it up for a walk the plank, get a wall splat damage, go into your undodgeable light, and then boom shakalaka. So much move sets here. 5 RMS chain bash right here. Utilize, you can also do this, boom, into chain light attack if they try dodging. So overall, Pirate's definitely not a weak character. She's just a lot more balanced, and she's got a ton of hyper armor, so she's definitely not in a weak spot at all. And this breaks through hyper armor, so you have to respect the crap out of her. She's not a weak character anymore, and she's not a weak character at all. She's still very strong, because when you just keep doing this, like, holy crap, are you gonna freaking piss a lot of people off. Now we have the last Outlander and Ocelotl. I think he's still gonna be a solid A tier pick. This character has really good ganks and, you know, can out-rotate so many people in the lobby because he has very good damage, very good mix-ups, and definitely should not be overshadowed by the rest of the cast because he's definitely not a weak character. For his tier 1s, I would definitely be running Huntsman's Spirit or Tireless, but I like using this because I can backcap so easily and regenerate my HP and attack unsuspecting victims. Ventral Mark is solid, but Bear Trap is also a really good one too. But I mean, just dying and then putting a debuff on an enemy is hilarious. It's like a curse mechanic. I think that's pretty cool. Does a lot of helps your teammates out if you are dying. So it's a minus 15 defense debuff, which is nice. Quetzalzal Coat's Blessing is also really good too because you get a 25 damage boost. But I personally run Second Wind so that if I do manage to get my Huntsman's Spirit and I'm dead, I can heal myself and get quickly back into the fight. Trapper's Reach is freaking ridiculous. I mean, you just freaking absolutely get a free guard break or a ledge and a ton of bleed damage and a free heavy attack, or you can regenerate and combine that with your tier 1 and your tier 3. Ocelotl doesn't really have anything bad about him. This forward dodge light is very helpful. Faintable chain bash into your unblockable mix-up. Boom shakalaka. 4 MS chain lights and chain finishers. Boom shakalaka. I mean, holy crap. You will not be able to react to this. And this bash does direct damage too, keep that in mind. 18 damage, and that chain heavy attack is 7 RMS. Very fast heavy attack, so if you're not parrying this, boom, you are going to be eating so much damage. Boom, 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 boom. Continuous offense just like this. Mix it up with the bash. Boom, shakalaka. And then boom, and then into a finisher. Boom, shakalaka, right there. So that finisher right there, it's going to be very good for ganks. He has a nasty gank setups that a lot of people don't utilize, and thank God they don't know about it, you know, because like fighting comp stacks with ocelotl is just not fun as a matchmaking solo gamer. Like he is such a strong character. Hunter stance is very good for ganks too. Insane gank potential. Zone attack can also have hyper armor, and finisher zone also has hyper armor as well. Zone attack here has a lot of range and very big hitboxes. Go to your chain mix up, and boom shakalaka. If you wanted to get a very safe move in if someone's attacking you, you can just kind of do that. Very strong chain offense and infinite chain. So ocelotl, definitely not a weak character. Also do some cool nifty shenanigans right here, dodging level 3 bashes, which is pretty cool. Good dodge attack, very fast attacks into zone, into whatever you want to do with this character. He's free, you know, you don't really have to think too much with him. Up next, we got our boy and our girl Tiandi. He's going straight on A tiers. Can you react to chain 4MS light attacks and react to that kick feintable animations? If not, well then he's gonna be A tier. Plus he's got some really insane ganks. Let's just go over his feats real quickly. I would probably only use Tierlist. Is probably gonna be his best tier 1. Sacrifice is really funny, and it can be utilized, but I personally would run this because I'm memeing around a lot. But if you want to be like very effective, highly effective for your team fights and want to win games, do banner is the way to go. Marked for death, you can use it and just forget about it. But sacrifice, what you do is you spend like 50 HP. Well, actually, it looks like 49 HP, and then you heal your teammates 30 health for 24 seconds. So it's a small, really small tick, but it makes it so that nobushi, peacekeeper, they're pretty much useless because it just heals away all the bleed and fire. So a tier 2 like that is pretty good when it comes to fighting specific characters. So if you know you're gonna fight against those types of cancer characters with bleed, tiandi has like a niche spot, which I really like playing that category. And of course, Vital Leech, Battle Cry, both of these are fantastic. You can do a build with Battle Cry to give your teammates more damage. It's very helpful, but Vital Leech is just so good that I would recommend you to run this instead of Battle Cry. Indomitable, insane, and of course Morale Booster and Last Lap, both OP feats. Now, when it comes to his mix-up, this is going to be your bread and butter here. The forward dodge bash into the undodgeable light. This follow-up, even if you miss, this follow-up light is 4MS light attack, so it's going to be incredibly hard to read that, and then you're going to mix it up with this undodgeable. You can also delay it to a tremendous degree as well and mess with the timings of your opponent. You can also go for the forward dodge if they decide to go for the parry, and then of course the kick mix-up is so freaking clean, goes into a bash here, but keep in mind that your forward dodge bash, if you do it again, you can easily be light interrupted from it because you're not even frame advantage anymore. So if you expect it, you can go for the parry afterwards. But that's basically it for his Bane Crux, and this one has a crap ton of iframes. His dragon dodge and then his tiger dodge is also really good too. He's gonna have very good undodgeable properties here. You will lose some iframes here as soon as you initiate the attack, just like Nobushi's Sidewinder, but this allows you to be pretty safe in a lot of anti-gank situations. Can soften into this here too, and of course his zone is an initiator for his big mix-up. And overall, Tiandi, very scary character. He also gets crushing counters on his undodgeable light attacks. So let's try to utilize that with Warden's Wrath. So boom, oops, let's try that again. As you can see here, this one is pretty hard to land, but you can get it. A lot if you're trying to go for it. But obviously, it's gonna be like on a read because the timing is pretty strict. You have to do it like on a very big read. Like you have to do it early, instinctively. Just assume that they're gonna go for it. Now, Jang Jun is simply one of those characters where you look at them on the other team and then you start rolling your eyes. I mean, that's basically all the S tiers. As soon as you see them, you're like, ugh, I gotta fight them again. So Jang Jun, quite an absolute menace to deal with. He essentially can do pretty much everything. He's a god of anti-ganking, stalling, all of that good stuff. Like, he fits in every single comp. against all odds is incredible. More damage for your teammates. This deadly is also insane too. Inspire is probably what you should be running. I would not run benefaction. You don't need to give your teammates more stamina. It's fun to run for sure, but you'd rather be ganking and dealing damage because you're the one that has really good offense. Soothing Mist is a great healing tier 3. Tough as nails if you want a tank with bulk up, really fun to do. Second one is also really good too. Fury Barrage has a really short cooldown, and it's cool to have your enemies run out of stamina, which is pretty awesome. Like I need to use this more. I think it's really fun. Firearm uses this a lot. Fire Flask, Insane, and Phalanx. I would rather use Phalanx than Fire Flask, but both are really solid picks. So with Jang Jun, he's pretty straightforward. The forward dodge kick is going to guarantee that into an unblockable. So that's pretty much the main thing about Jang Jun here. You want to be soft feint these unblockables or feint them into a light attack into this. So all the shenanigans is Sifu. Has so much iframes and go into unblockable zone. You can also delay it to a tremendous degree as well. Boom shakalaka, and goes into a light attack. Or you can go into a unblockable heavy attack. As you can see, the one neat trick that I like to do a lot is when I guard break, I do a backwards heavy. This will always hit no matter what. And if you are low in stamina, do you see how much space I have right there? Some characters will not be able to reach you. So when you're low in stamina and you do this, you have a lot of wiggle room to do whatever you want. So for any aspiring Jang Jun mains out there, I would recommend doing this because you still get very close to your enemy, and they can't touch you sometimes. So if it's a character like maybe like Warden, he'll want to be like, okay, so I can't hit him with a light attack, he'll try zone, so you expect a zone and you can go for the parry. But of course he has hyper armor on his neutral heavy, so that on itself is so freaking strong. Wide hitboxes, strong unblockable heavy pressure. Wall pressure too, because if he goes for a parry, you can do a choke, as you can see here. Let me just do this. Boom shakalaka, drain some stamina, slap him in the face, get that free freaking unblockable heavy attack. And you can delay these lights to a tremendous degree. Look at that. Look at that. Boom, boom. 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 Like people, it'll be hard to tell the animation. A lot of people won't be able to react to that. See, that top one is the most funky looking one ever. You can delay that to a tremendous degree. Boom, right there. So try utilizing that. Don't do it right away. If I were you, like, don't do this. People can react to that very easily. So that's what I would recommend. But of course, he has an insane freaking dodge attack here. Soft feints into light. You can do this over and over again. Nobody can catch you. That's why Jang Jun is an absolute menace. Shaolin is definitely going to be an S tier pick, one of the carry characters. He can be one of the most nimble characters out there, even more nimble than Shinobi in my opinion. He literally is a ridiculous character. High skill curve, but also a very low skill floor. He just literally has almost everything to set him apart from everybody and deal with every single situation. So key trap really good for putting in the spawn, but I usually run just stealth anyways, so I don't get hit by projectiles unless they are locked onto me. Blink is your go-to. Invigorate, insane for your team fights. Healing teammates, healing bleed, ridiculous, and blessed projection. You don't really want to run anything else because this is a huge game-changing team fight tier 4. You can go straight to your teammates, help them out with your tier 3, and get a lot of damage in and stall for longer. So let's just go over Shaolin's mix-ups right here. Boom shakalaka, boom boom. Kick mix up into your sweep, guarantee this. This is going to be a hard read, going to that. You can also feint that, why not? Change form as light attacks, why not? Boom, 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 boom. Finisher heavy. And he also has a really good roll catcher too. He has crushing counters properties on these things right here, right there, boom shakalaka. And then of course he has an undodgeable right here. As you saw that, this is just the normal undodgeable. The animation looks very clean, but there's tech you can do once if I press the light attack here and I let go of the light attack, this is what you want to do. Let go of the light attack and then press heavy instantly right afterwards when you let go of it. Then it changes the animation once I get it right here. There you go. See that? Let go of the light attack and then press the heavy attack. You'll get used to it. The timing is fairly easy to do. Boom shakalaka, boom, boom, and then boom, and then boom. This is just a 50-50 mix that you have to eat. You have to make a good read on it. His zone attack is 500 MS. If I miss this kick, I will do a zone attack instead of a top light. A lot of people who don't have the reactions, or they're not like playing 2 inches from the screen, or they are employed, they will just press the follow-up light attack on the top. But the best thing to do if you know that you whiffed is to press zone attack, because even if they just parry this, it's just gonna be a light punish for your enemy. So very powerful stuff here. His dodge attack is also insane. It's basically a 300-degree hitbox dodge attack that is so freaking safe. Unless there's a VP or a varangian there to like keep him in check, Shaolin can literally do whatever he wants, and it doesn't really matter what you do unless you have a dodge attack yourself. Another neat thing too is that he can easily catch you with that zone attack if you decide to dodge, which is kind of crazy. You can also target swap that follow-up light attack. I can't show you right now, but you'll see a lot of high-level players utilize that. Chain 4 MS light attacks, and his finisher light is going to be 500 MS. A lot of people are going to get hit by this. I get hit by this all the time because I don't really expect it. Like usually you go for the triple light, which is going to be boom, 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 which is going to be 18 damage. You can delay it tremendously for Shaolin Gank. Shaolin Gank is very freaking easy to use, and you just delay this as much as possible so your teammate has plenty of time to get their heavy attacks on. But I mean, that's basically the gist of the character. You got crushing counters for safe utility. You can dodge out of chi stance to get free deflects. Deflects are really cool on this character. I'll just show you guys really quickly. Deflections are great. Boom shakalaka, it's 20 damage, and you get a ton of, you can go into your chain mix-up right away, and you also get some really good tier 3 action right there that can heal your teammates and yourself. So Shaolin, absolutely disgusting menace. As you can see there, look how much iframes I have. You can also go ahead and deflect from chi stance as well. I don't think I can do crushing counter. Okay, I think you can do that on reaction, on indicator, but you have to be like super freaking ready for it. I don't think you can do it on in a real game though. You might have to do it a little bit earlier, but he still has so much freaking utility, it's crazy. Zhanhu is the next, actually not Zhanhu, I mean Zhanhu is gonna be the next character. Now I'm gonna put him right up in the, I think I'm gonna put him up in the A tiers. Like I would kind of put him in like the A-, which is like underrated and balanced characters, but I think he's like a cut above the rest when it comes to these specific picks. Like you can do pretty much everything that these characters can do. High, very strong external pressure, strong ganks, amazing deep flex, superior blocks, and all that good stuff. Zhanhu, he does kind of have it all. You can carry with him. I kid you not. Most people aren't reacting to that unblockable heavy attack, and that makes him a very strong candidate for carrying your matchmaking games. I have a great time playing him. So with this tier 1, there's 2 kind of builds you can kind of run. Fury Tusk, Fire, and Quinlan Rose with the Fire build, mid-bitch stuff. Bounty Hunter, Fast Recovery, Insane. Winner's Advantage is also really good too. I would also go with Nikikubi or Longbow, so you continue to attack forever. Fury Breath is kind of like a niche thing. Like you have to land Quinlan Rose first, and it can be easy to land, and then you get more damage on these follow-up attacks, so kind of a fun build to do, but I personally wouldn't recommend it. Scorching Deluge is also really cool too. You can kind of act like a Fire Nation individual. Last Laugh is, I don't know, I feel like it's super underrated, I'm not gonna lie to you, and then Scorching Deluge is ridiculous. So let's go over his mix-ups. The mix-ups on this character is forward dodge heavy, is gonna catch people. He has very good recoveries with there. Forward dodge bash into light mix-ups, really strong. You can also do a zone if you wanted to. And then you can go into a forward dodge light that is going to be enhanced, that goes into your unblockable heavy attack. Now I wanna make it so that this guy thinks that I'll never throw out that unblockable light. So for anybody that is on PC that is at least 10 inches from their screen, they will parry this like 9 times out of 10. So I would not recommend using this ever. I will only use it once in a blue moon, and I would not use it to like really finish someone off that necessarily wants to parry it, because a lot of people try to parry like, oh, he's got 1 more HP, he's gonna try to finish him with a light attack, and then boom, you get light parried, and then you might get snowballed and die. So after those finisher heavies, you can land this, you can do a lot of silly shenanigans. Zhanhu is just very simple. His dodge attacks are 400 MS, as you can see here. Boom, boom, boom. And that can be like a very strong tool for the average player. Boom. A lot of people try to go for the parry on that. You just dodge and get a free guard break if they try to attempt the parry. So I think that's a pretty cool mix-up. Let me just show you guys his deflections. His deflection is pretty freaking cool. Look at that. Pretty freaking sick, huh? Let's get over here. It's guaranteed for 22 damage. You go to your unblockable heavy attack. I want him to do a top heavy. Do a top heavy. Oh, there we go. This unblockable is so freaking cool. It is so badass, and it has a lot of versatility too, because you can go for that into this. Nobody ever expects it. It's the coolest thing ever. But that's kind of the gist of Zhanhu. I mean, you can kind of chain into a zone right there, but overall the character is fairly good. He's definitely not weak at all. And I think he can definitely carry your games because he's got so much going for him. I love her. I absolutely love her. All right, so with Nuxia is a bit tricky in my opinion. I don't really want to put her like A- tier due to her being fairly niche. Like, she does have some really good redeeming qualities in my opinion. Like, I would love to put her in A tier, but just like the average and casual person who's playing Nuxia is not going to do that well with her, because you have to know matchups. You have to realize that a lot of people are just going to do a bunch of random stuff, dodge attack, light you, and you have to be ready for that. If you're not playing methodically and you don't have the reactions to deal with all that bullshit, because people just throw raw heavies as early as possible, and you have to be ready for that. You honestly need to be ready to parry, you need to be ready to deflect, and you have to be like, okay, so I can't use these traps all the time, even though that's her main mix-up. You have to heavy feint into GB, heavy feint to watch whatever the heck they're doing. So if her traps actually worked a little bit better and they gave her an actual buff or rework, then I would put her in A- tier. And honestly, for duels, like, she's a freaking strong A tier, but in like Dominion, I'd say, and I would put her in B tier because you have to work extra hard. You don't really see Nuxia carrying. It's once in a blue moon, but you see all these top tier characters up here carrying, while she's usually like, they'll be doing well, but they're also just going to die a lot. So that's what I would say for Nuxia. Nuxia has, you know, very high damage potential with Deadly Duet, doing a crap ton of damage in 1v1s. You can finish someone off really quickly if you got the reactions and the reads for it. Call Trap's also insane. Thrilling Comeback's really good too. Threat of Fate or Slip Through. I would use Slip Through. Takedowns can be decent if you do manage to get that wall split, that finisher heavy or guard break, get some nice OS punish. But your teammates definitely mess you up from time to time. I've tried this build. It is cancerous because teammates will not know that you have takedown defeat activated, and then you will essentially just miss out on so much damage when you just land a guard break into a heavy attack. So Infection, that's what I would be running. I also run Regenerate, and I've been messing around with Berserker. It's absolutely god tier awful, so don't use this. Don't be me. Just use Regenerate or Infection. So with Nuxia, she got a nice buff. So right here, this is a 5 MS zone now. This is a zone attack that goes into a finisher zone. That's 27 damage, which is really nice. Honestly, it's very good for opening, so she doesn't have to rely on pressing heavies all the time, because her heavy attacks, while they are they do have like the trap mix-ups in here, they're very good because of how well they can trap people. Look how much damage this is, and her follow-up finisher heavy is going to catch people right there. Boom, boom, and then boom, throws them backwards. You get some easy wall splats, and of course her chain light attacks are 400 MS, which are ridiculously fast. Most people are not going to be reacting to this, and if you're delaying them like crazy and people want to go for parry, you delay your heavies, boom. Like, the amount of delay that she has is insane. You see that? And then now they gave her the now they gave her the option to go into a safe chain fire MS light attack that can go into her finisher heavies. So with Warden, it's a little bit difficult because he doesn't have his guard, but a lot of people tend to dodge this, and you can just use your trap mix-up here, boom, for 22 damage, and go into your chain mix-up and land a crap ton of damage. So a lot of people try to dodge out of this, and you can guard break. A lot of people just do early heavies, get ready to deflect it, and I think that's one of the unique mix-ups that, you know, Nuxia has. Compared to the rest of the cast, she also has this cool mix-up too. Instead of going for a guarantee follow-up light attack like this into your chain mix-ups, like so, you can do a heavy attack into a trap mix-up. So if they don't change their guard, it's not guaranteed, but if they don't change their guard, they're pretty much screwed, you know? There's the Song Ni Xiao, boom, 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 and that's gonna be your main mix-up right there. So she is definitely a scary character if you are not ready for it, if you don't know her mix-ups. Personally, I fear a really good Nuxia because I can't react to trap mix-ups, and eating all of this right here with Deadly Duet, you get like a freaking crap ton of damage. So Nuxia, highly underrated, but she is very hard to use in my opinion. because she's not the greatest team fighter. Although she did get new hitboxes on her heavy attacks and her zone attack, I think she still suffers when it comes to team fights. So, but catch her in 1v1s like Peacekeeper, she's freaking scary. But Peacekeeper is better team fighter than her, and I think you have to kind of understand what your role is as Nuxia and single out someone who is by themselves. Next up is going to be the Knight faction. Now, working on a Blackpire. Blackpire straight gonna be S tier. This character is absolutely diabolical, and that's simply due to his safe utility with his flip, being able to flip everything and having that crushing counter. You know, Blackpire, I don't think he's like the most overpowered character in the game. Probably the more weaker character compared to all of these heroes, whereas BP, he's a skill check character, so if you're not dodging those 500 ms bashes, or pairing his crushing counter attempts and being able to dodge 600 ms zone attacks that drain stamina, mind you, well then you might have a very rough time against Blackpire, and his chain mix-up is still pretty solid as well. So let's just go over his feats really quickly. He's got solid feats, and you want to be using them as much as possible. Synergy Shield is really good, gives you shield to your teammates. Healing Ward, absolutely ridiculous. Doom Banner, Healing Ward is really nice. It heals yourself when you're in Bulwark stance. There's probably nothing you can do in a 1v2 situation when Blackpire is staring at your face. So that's why I rate him so high on the tier list. He carries your team so well, and one of the biggest reasons is the Oathbreaker feat. Funbreaker, as they say, it removes the fun from For Honor. So you get no shields and you get no revenge, and that is just big sad. Tough as Nails, you can do a Tough as Nails build with bulk up. It's pretty cool, really fun to use because you get to become a raid boss, really strong, but not as powerful as Oathbreaker or just running Last Stand with your perk setups. Armor Shelter is your go-to. I haven't really seen anyone use Regenerate or Morale Booster, but Armor Shelter is just ridiculously strong. They did nerf it a while ago where you only get half shields now, but I think it's still a very strong feat. Now, the core kit of Blackpire is fairly simple. You have a good roll catcher that goes into a infinite chain here, as you can see, undodgeable into unblockable zone, but the main mix-up is going to be light into bash into light into unblockable heavy into GB, or you let that fly. And then the other one is going to be light into undodgeable because they will try to do a dodge preemptively on dodging this chain bash. And so that's a really cool thing that Blackpire has. Very simple to use, good crushing counter properties as well. Very good zone attack here, as you can see here. Boom, guarantees that. A lot of people, I like to do a forward dodge into a zone attack for people that like to dodge really, really early. It really messes people up and messes up their timing, so I think it's a really fun mix-up to use. And you also have your forward dodge mix-up right here. Forward dodge bash, Tenebrous Rising, very strong opener. And you can also go into a full block on every single move. As you can see here, I can flip pretty much everything, and that's what makes her so scary, because you can flip after every single move, and that is incredibly scary because you have to bait stuff out on her. She can instantly do that, feint it, see what's going on. If someone is going to be throwing an attack, she can instantly go into that, and then she can determine if she wants to flip it or not, even on this here. So you kind of have to be very careful fighting against her, especially a good one. Can easily bait a bunch of stuff out. So with the warden matchup, not warden matchup, but like, you know, just anything in general, you can flip everything. You can literally flip everything here. I'm gonna flip light attacks, flip on red, flip on everything. I think you can flip on indicator as well, but you have to be very fast. You have to be really, really quick on your toes. Maybe in an average matchmaking lobby, you probably won't be able to do it. You might have to get into full block first and then press the attack. So, very good crushing counter damage into your mix-up, and then boom. And that's why VP is so freaking strong, you know? She also has stamina drain as well, as you can see there. Drain stamina, still one of the few characters that has the ability to do that. She has also a really good dodge attack as well, as you can see that goes into a Tenebrous Rising. Can easily go into a flip as well. Boom. Pretty real estate. BP, easy to use, but also has a very high skill curve when you can try to utilize her flips right there. And next up we have is our girl Warmonger. Now Warmonger, you know, I'm gonna definitely put her up in A tier. She did get nerfed recently where her neutral lights, they are not enhanced anymore. That's a pretty big hit for her, but it doesn't really change like the core playstyle of the character, which is mostly going to be a chain bash or neutral bash centric character that allows her to have some hyper armor and I'll just go over some of her feats. One makes her so freaking top tier is going to be her corruption feats. Without these corruption feats, she would not be that good in my opinion. So corruption blade, you guys know what it does. It adds freaking the COVID virus into your sword, makes so that nobody can, you know, help that teammate that is inflicted. Elixir corruption, probably run that. Arrow strike is also really good too. I switch between these and they're all very good. Power corruption, I would definitely run this. You can kind of run punch through, but with the tier 1, I mean with the enhanced lights being gone, I feel like it's not as strong anymore. So power corruption is your go-to. You can also run tough as nails. That's what I use sometimes. Corruption blast is just a obvious choice. This is a game-winning team fight move. So let's just go over her moves here. She got nerfed here. She can't. Her lights are not enhanced. And what I mean by enhanced is that when I press light attack here, it gets blocked off. It gets deflected. Before, you used to do this. Before, you used to do that, and you go into your chain mix-up. So right now, this is how you're supposed to play warmonger. You kind of play her like warden. But the thing is, she has a zone as well that's also enhanced, and she has hyper armor follow-up. But this is going to be her main tool here. Her main tool. So she's going to do this, she's going to do this, lets them fly. It's nice because she gets a little bit of some hyper armor there. A really high level tip that a lot of people don't use is that when you get a wall spell like that, you don't have to commit to that guaranteed follow-up heavy attack, as you can see here. If they are a specific distance from the wall, as you can see here, you can get a side heavy or a top heavy. Boom shakalaka right there. They cannot block that side heavy, and if you get them far enough, you can do a top heavy, which is really satisfying. This one is guaranteed. It's freaking shagadelic. It's the highest damage, one of the highest damage charge bashes in the entire game, and so a really strong move for warmonger is this dodge attack heavy. Great iframes, absolutely great iframes, but in 1v1s you can easily be light interrupted from this, so I would be careful on not using it that much unless you're doing it on a very, very early read, letting it fly, going into the unblockable mix, and then going to your chain light attack, into your bash here. And this is going to be your bread and butter right here. And then one of the next strongest part about her kit is this forward undodgeable. Great for catching people who roll away. Absolutely one of the, I think it's one of the best forward dodge heavies in the game. So warmonger definitely isn't that weak. She has a lot of strengths, but you know, with the nerf to her enhanced lights, she doesn't really have that strong of chain pressure anymore. So right here, boom. You used to be able to throw a light right there and make the enemy scared, but now you kind of have to commit to certain moves. But I still think she's a very strong and solid character with those tier 1 and corruption blast. And you still have to respect the crap out of her and respect her hyper armor and respect this dodge attack, because she has 2 dodge attacks right here, this one here and this one here. Although you can easily guard break her out of this one right here and also guard break her very early, but if you do it a little bit too late, heavy to GB, you're gonna eat a crap ton of damage. So the zone attack is great, and she has very good hitboxes, great for minion clearing, and a solid team fighter overall. So this character is still very strong, and I love playing her. And it's just unfortunate that they had to nerf that because most players can't block lights. So a sad state that the For Honor community is in right now, in my honest opinion. She also got nerfed on her impale. Before it used to be like super freaking far, but now it doesn't go as far anymore, which is a really good nerf. Like you can see there, she staggers there. She staggers there. Before she didn't stagger at all, but you still get a crap ton of damage, and that's the biggest issue in my opinion, that I don't know why they did that. What they should have done is that made it so that you don't get that much damage. Just do it like maybe 27 damage, 27 bleed, and make it so that maybe the distance is the same or just shorter, you know, like just shorter. It's a lot shorter, but the damage is still very high, and that makes her a strong parry punish character when it comes to wall splats. And if they gave lawbringer, you know, this is a broken record. A broken record. Essentially, you need it's very strong parry punish. If you can parry, then she is absolutely god tier. Like very, very strong character, because you have so much damage potential here. Which it does suck though, because now you don't have enhanced lights when someone's bleeding, so that's kind of like a very big drawback for warmonger. So very, very sagged, very sagged. And here we have our poster boy, Warden. Warden is going right up there with warmonger, absolutely god tier with his feat reworks and his hitbox adjustments. This guy is so scary in the mid lane and just in general in team fights now. He used to be, you know, one of the worst characters for 1v1s. not 1v1s, but in team fights for Dominion, but now he is such a solid pick. Death Toll, run that, so much healing in the mid lane, and Feeble, so much damage reduction on the enemy when you land with your shoulder bash, which is going to be your main bread and butter. Total recovery can be helpful. I haven't really been running this that much. I usually run second wind to anti-gank and stall, a lot more beneficial than healing someone at full HP, but I'm not gonna lie to you, it can be helpful. So try running that if you want to do like a healing paladin build. And then Trebuchet is just freaking OP. I mean, it's 70 damage, inescapable. Like, you're gonna hit this 9 times out of 10. This is your go-to. This is so freaking strong. I'm just so confused on how powerful it is. Like, it's so freaking good. So Warden's main mix-up, same character as Warmonger. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's literally the same thing. But the thing is that he's better because he has a vortex. So it is unreactable with hyper armor, and he has an unblockable heavy attack. So he's already instantly better in regards to chain mix-up pressure compared to Warmonger, because she stops, she has to throw out light attacks, she has to throw out heavies, and she has to play with frame advantage. Whereas Warden can just do whatever he wants. He's already frame advantage on pretty much every move. He's frame advantage there, boom, boom. It's hard, you can't light him out of there. You have to eat that mix-up. And with Warden, you can just do whatever the fudge you want. You can also delay his heavies to a tremendous degree too. It's so fun to do that. I can do this. A lot of people don't expect that chain side light into top light because they just expect you to go for the double lights, which is 15 damage, but if you do a 10 damage into a top light, that's 23 damage. That's literally a heavy attack. One of the best forward dodge heavies in the game as well. Like, it's tremendous. It has more range than Warmonger's, but it is not an undodgeable. I prefer the undodgeable because it has a lot more versatility, because you can catch people who are in team fights. So Warden, easily one of the best duelists and team fighters in the game, in my opinion. That zone attack has very good hitboxes, goes into unblockable mix-up, and can absolutely shred people with his new heavy finishers right there. It's not a heavy finisher, but it's an attack within his shoulder bash. This is insane for target swapping and guaranteeing damage no matter if you get hit by your on the next attack, because after every single move it has hyper armor. Also do a zone too, but this has a really weak hitbox, and it takes a ton of stamina, so I would not recommend using it that much. So that's kind of how Warden works. You know, you just want to play him like this, bait out stuff, time your light attacks, and you get a lot of profit from it. Warden is just super easy to play and very, very strong right now. He also still has that stamina drain as well, so if you get a parry, a lot of people will go for a forward dodge bash to drain the stamina and get you into frame advantage. And so that's kind of what you want to do every single time if you have enough stamina for it. You can also do that. That's also a very optimal punish, which is 12 damage compared to the 15. Centurionn, on the other hand, or as I should say, Centurionn is going to be a solid A tier character. Sometimes he's S tier depending on who you're playing with, because he's an insane ganker and very strong heavy hitter. But I think in average matchmaking levels, he has a lot of tools and a lot of damage that he can do if you can parry. He's a solid A tier. Not the best in team fighting, but so good in ganking and 1v1s that he's absolutely god tier. Probably one of the best 1v1 characters in the entire game due to just being able to parry and get so much value from wall splats. And so with Centurionn, his feats, you definitely should be running body count or bounty hunter. I think bounty hunter is better, but you can mess around with body count and rush just to get into fights faster. But bounty hunter is very good. Bounty count, if you want to be in the mid lane, he does have very good clear with his zone attacks, which are feightable. You always want to be running Haymaker, and of course Pugio, absolutely unreactable, 3 MS and 120-second cooldown, and guarantees a fully charged heavy into an unreactable charge punch mix-up. And then, of course, you can run any of these tier 4s if you wanted to. Phalanx is probably your go-to. Stalwart Banner is also very insane, too. And Catapult, just for the memes. Why not give Centurionn Trebuchet, right? Why not? And so, with Centurionn, the base of his moveset is going to be this here. You're going to want to be doing this literally all the time. You're going to want to be punching people in the face. You want to be kicking. You want to be punching this all the time. Absolutely insane character. That's literally all you do. It's kind of insane. This unblockable heavy, a lot of people don't use this move, but it's fairly underrated, honestly. So you guard break, drain their stamina, boom, wall splat. It's so much stamina damage and a lot of damage in general. So a fun mix-up that I like to do is if I get into my chain light here and I fully charge this and I see them dodge, I'm just gonna empty. I'm just gonna do an empty dodge and see what they do. So if I do this, and then I get into my chain mix-up and I see that they like empty dodging, I can just do a kick into a fully charged bash. And then once they stop dodge attacking, you can easily guard break them afterwards to get some nice wall supply damage. So that's why I love playing Centurion. He's absolutely the goated individual. So a very good roll catcher too that has hyper armor. Pretty silly to use. You can use it on a big ass read. Zone attack can be feintable from all sides here. And of course the strongest, I think one of the strongest part of his kit is that delayable heavy. You guys see that? This delayable heavy, he has two different versions. Level 1 and then level 2. 1, 2. And then he has that third one right here. Boom, just like hitokiri, but it's a pin and it's freaking ridiculously good. I'll tell you what. And delayable to the highest degree. So Centurion, absolutely disgusting character, and of course his wall splats are just freaking ridiculous. Like boom, shakalaka, fully charged punch, and with Haymaker you're dealing so much damage on a heavy parry. On a heavy parry, essentially you're gonna, where's this attack? On a heavy parry, you're gonna get like so much damage. Like that's insane. And this is also guaranteed as well. You can do a punch into that. So every single parry you get, you're guaranteed that follow-up punch, stamina damage, and you're allowed with Haymaker to get more damage in. So it's so scary to be in this chain mix. So that's why Centurion is the freaking goal right now. But other than that, I mean, Centurion's fairly straightforward. You know, a decent dodge attack, very decent dodge attack. Not the best for like team fights, but good for like option selecting your opponent if you need to. He also has chain lights too. This can catch people who try to dodge your bash early. So I would try utilizing this from time to time. Don't use it all the time, as it's a very easy light parry and the animation is very telling. And then mix it up with the heavy attacks, and then they'll just get screwed over and take heavies to the face. So, and our poor girl or boy, Conqueror. Now Conqueror, he's in a tricky spot in my opinion. I'm gonna put him in B tier. So with Conqueror, I've said it time and time again, he's not really a bad character. He's got a feintable chain bash, he's got unblockable heavy. It's just that those heavy attacks don't deal that much damage, and I think he's just kind of boring to play. His full blocks also don't really work. In general, I would kind of put him like A- tier, but I think he's such a in a weird place, a weird spot in the meta. I just don't think he has that much prevalency or that much agency in any games. He can have like decent hitboxes on his target swap heavy attacks, but in general I think he has some glaring issues that need to be looked at. So let's just quickly go over his feats here. Speedy revive is solid. You can do body count to stay in the mid lane. It's pretty solid pick. Juggernaut's also really good, but I would just kind of run shield basher because you get more damage on your badge attacks. I mean, it just feels really bad dealing damage with Conqueror. You kind of need that extra damage with your forward dodge bash and your chain bash having damage, but you can kind of run what you want. I think any of these tier 2s are just fine. Punch through, probably the best feat in the game for Conqueror, in my opinion. Run Pugno Mortis, I think that's a lot better than heal on block. And then of course, uninterruptible, you get hyper arm for 30 seconds. So, I mean, not terrible, honestly, not terrible. But I tend to run regenerate or catapult. All these are just fine. So Conqueror's main mix-up is going to be this here. Forward dodge bash, into light attack, into unblockable, into this. And then boom, you can use that unreactable chain light attack. Unreactable bash mix up here. So as you can see, this is gonna be your bread and butter, honestly. Bread and butter. So a lot of times when you're team fighting, you can recovery cancel after every single move. If you expect someone to light attack you really early, that's a very good tool to utilize instead of going for guaranteed damage. That's why I like having that shield basher as my tier 2. Because you can instantly full block afterwards. He also has a really good side dodge bash, and then you can do a chain light attack. Unfortunately, he still keeps that same side light attack that is 900 MS. Of course, I still get hit by this, unfortunately, but you know, it is what it is. I mean, look at this. Like, what is this? Someone help my girl Conquer, please. Help her. Someone do something. But anyways, you know, that's kind of the gist of the character. She has a 600 MS zone attack. You can get some pretty good, you can get a nice wall splat here with Conqueror. You can do a charged heavy attack. Boom, shakalaka for 28 damage. So her charged heavy is not bad at all. So Gladiator is also kind of in a tricky spot. He is what I call a skill check hero. So basically, if you cannot react to 600 MS attacks or bashes, you're gonna have a very rough time against him. And if you're not a reactard or an unemployed individual, well then you are gonna hate this character. So honestly, if he had better team fighting capabilities, I would put him up in A tier. But in my opinion, I think he's a solid A- tier character due to the fact that he has everything you need to be successful in a 1v1 and in a ganking situation. So if you're good in ganking, then you should be fine after all, because Dominion is mostly ganking and team fights. Your team fighting capabilities are okay. You have good survivability with your dodge, bash, sucker punch having so much iframes, and being able to continue off your chain mix up and have a 500 ms chain toe stab. And so Gladiator isn't a bad pick at all. It's just that when there's, I don't know, when there's two Gladiators, it's also kind of nightmarish as well, but sometimes it's also bad depending on, you know, what characters they're fighting against. So with the tier 1, Bounty Hunter or Deadly is your go-to. I would always run a Haymaker and go for Neptune's Wrath or Bolodorus. Pugnamoris is tame in comparison to these two picks. Absolutely ridiculous. You can do Bolodorus and land a catapult. Kind of insane. Fear itself is obviously super strong, but Neptune's Wrath is like 50 damage from a freaking far away. So the gist of this character, this is a 500 ms bash, but it doesn't guarantee anything unless you have Haymaker, which is going to be like extra 5 damage. But it goes into frame advantage skewer mix up. Skewer does a crap ton of damage here, and if you're not dodging this right here, you are so screwed. Like, boom, shakalaka, chain fire ms slide attack into another skewer mix up, and this has very good phantom range, and it will track people and snipe people from a distance. It does a lot of damage too. So the top light right here, these chain top lights, they are 433 ms. These side ones, they're a lot slower. I believe they're 466 or 500 ms, so I would tend not to use them. The top ones are the ones that I would use personally because they're unreactable, and if they try to start blocking or dodging them, expect it. You can mix them up with the toe step, which is 500 ms, and you can get a lot of damage off that way. So Sucker Punch has very good range, great versatility, mobility, and iframes to go into your chain mix-up here. Boom, and then boom, shakalaka. Easy damage from your boy, your girl, Gladiator. So if you're 1v1 against a Glad, it can be very scary because the toe stab is just so freaking strong. It's honestly really, really good because it also makes it so that it pushes your enemy away from you. See that? Look how much space I got from that. If you're low stamina and you use that, the person trying to initiate again is gonna have to respect the distance that you have created. So that's why Gladiator is so annoying to fight against, because you have to respect everything that he does with his dodge attack. With this here, he also has a good roll catcher, and then of course just stopping your attacks in general. So Gladiator, definitely not a weak character. He also has a zone here, another 600 ms bash here that you have to respect. That can be feinted as well and chained. So that's something that is very powerful on Gladiator here that you need to respect. So Gladiator, absolutely nightmarish character that exists for people who cannot react to anything. He also gets a really strong deflect as well. Boom shakalaka. So much damage that it's insane. It's probably like 40 or something damage. I don't remember how much. The Sucker Punch also really cool too. Goes to your chain mix up. One of the best things about Gladiator too is that his OOS pressure is so freaking strong. If you're not reacting to this right here, you are eating all of this. Literally all of this. Boom, boom, boom. And now we are moseying on over to our boy Gryffindor. Gryffindor is going to be a solid A tier character right here. He is, I honestly think he's a very close character to carry tier personally, but I just don't think he has anything that's super glaring, you know, incredibly oppressive, besides maybe his dodge attack. I think he's a pretty close A tier carry, but I feel like his kit overall doesn't seem that ridiculous, you know, comparison to like everyone else here. As long as his finisher heavies don't become unblockable like Jane June's, then I think he is fine where he is. I feel like he is balanced. His healing is very strong, and I believe he has like a really nice role in the meta. So with Gryphon, I would personally be running Fast Recovery or Stern Stare, both great feats. Also run Speedy Revive if you really wanted to be that Paladin, which is a great choice. Dragonite Miss is your go-to. Dragonite Bolt is really good too, but if you want more damage, Winter's Advantage is you're gonna do so much damage with your finisher. It's gonna be like 34 damage or something like that. So it's actually insane if you do manage to get that tier 2. And then going for Dragonite Cleanser, Champion's Aura is so fun to do because you heal everybody. And this is really nice too because it deals a lot of damage. So with Gryphon, your main moveset is gonna be this here. It's gonna be this. This is gonna be your main opener. and going into this, mixing people up with your kick mix-up. So forward dodge light into light if they try to dodge, and if they stop dodging, you do a forward light into the kick mix-up, boom shakalaka. Or you could do this and then wait for the empty dodge, and then boom shakalaka, he is cooked. Boom. This has so much cleave, it's not even funny. And then the double tap here allows you to go into your mix-up as well. You can do this into that, this into this, and then get some nice wall splat damage. He has insane wall splat damage right there. 32 damage. Such a satisfying sound, honestly. Such a satisfying sound. Look at this dodge attack. This dodge attack is so freaking good. So much range, very good hitbox, and overall, it's something that you do not want to mess around with. So, what I usually do with a light parry is I go for this into my mix-up here. And you can just kind of go for this here, and then do it again. And then boom, boom. So that's basically the gist of Gryphon. You can also dodge on red as well. Do whatever you want, honestly. Dodge on red, do whatever you want, and then mix people up. If they're not respecting your forward light, you can easily just keep spamming it and go into your kick mix-up, or spamming it, going into undodgeable light to mess them up. Boom, baby. And his zone attack also gets that property, or after a parry, you get that property of hyper armor, so he gets like a guaranteed damage, which is really nice, honestly. It's honestly very cool. That forward dodge bash is also very good too. And his chain light is 500 MS, so it's not the best move to use, but he does have that available to you in case people want to try to parry your finisher heavies. I mean, try to parry your chain lights and get them a condition to parry those. And you can just land a raw heavy like so, boom, and then boom shakalaka. So Gryphon, fairly straightforward character, easy to use, absolutely has one of the best carry potentials in the game as well. And now we finally come to Lawbringer. Lawbringer is going straight up there on carry tier. This guy is insane with his new rework. Well, rework that happened a while ago, but he also got a really nice roll catcher. Insane character to fight against now. Let's go over his feats here. Tier 1, I would be using a Harsh Judgment or Body Count, both great feats. Righteous Deflection or Juggernaut, fairly simple. I mean, if you want more defense and having that hyper armor, choose Juggernaut. If you want more damage reduction after getting parries, having that skill-based mechanic, Righteous Deflection is your go-to. Second Wind or Pug No Mortis if you want to be Bombbringer, and Ignis Ember for 4 grenades. You can't go wrong with this at all. So going over his mix-ups here, this is his mix-up. Let's just first show his roll catcher. This thing has freaking tremendous range. You're not running away from Lawbringer anymore. Like, you're literally not running. You see how much cleave that has? I'm literally pushing this guy a bajillion miles away. So as you can see here, he can chain bash after every single move. If you guys didn't know, the side lights do more damage. Look at that, 13 more damage, 13 damage. The top light only does 9 damage, so you're losing out on 4 more damage. It is faster if you are trying to like get quick damage in an anti-ganking situation when you are 1v2 or surrounded. So I would recommend doing that top light if you needed to get damage in quickly, because it is 400 MS light. And if you guys didn't know, he does have enhanced lights here. Enhanced lights, so if you don't parry him, he goes into his chain mix-up. So boom shakalaka. Into this, and then boom, top light. That is a 4 MS light attack, remember that. For some reason, Lawbringer still has a 4 MS chain light attack, going to unblock a mix-up. And this top one is also soft feintable. You get a lot of damage here. It's just an honest, it's honest character in my opinion. Honest character. So maximum punish for wall splat is gonna be long arm into top heavy finisher into bash mix, and so that's what you want to be doing as Lawbringer. It's also very good for ganks too. Because this makes it so that the opponent is pinned, so they don't take any damage reduction whatsoever. So do that as much as possible. Plus, it's so much damage. They increase the top heavy damage to 25, so it becomes 29 damage total. Of course, I almost forgot about his hyper armor right there. So it's really good for team fights. Makes him honestly a threat and a menace in team fights, so you have to respect him so much, even more so than before. And I almost forgot about his best tool in the game is this side dodge bash. You cannot get hit while you use this move, dude. You can spam this so much, it's not even funny in team fights. No one can hit you. You have to, the other person has to make a big read on you. So yeah, this is just, every Lawbringer and their mom is spamming this move. It's so, nothing to say except what have they done to my boy? What had they done to my boy? That's all I have to say about that. Next up is gonna be Peacekeeper, the last knight that we have. Now, Peacekeeper is an interesting spot, I'd say. Personally, I really think she's going to be like a fairly good character, balanced, and something that requires just maybe a few touch-ups to make her actually stand out in the meta. But right now, I think she requires a little bit of finesse to make work and a little bit of matchup knowledge. So you have to understand what she can and what she can't do against certain characters with hyper armor, what she can utilize in team fights, and what her role is. And if you understand those mechanics, then I think she can be a solid A tier character that can that you can make work if you have decent reactions, decent reads. Obviously, if you're insane react target, she'll probably be like a very strong carry pick because she was used in a lot of comp play. But that's not our games. We're not in 4 stacks all the time. We're usually trying to fight someone who just got off work and is drunk off their mind because they hate their job and they hate their life and they keep fighting 4 stacks and rage quitting. So it's up to you to try to carry. But for Peacekeeper, let's go over her feats. Bounty Hunter is really good. I tend to run this. Stealth is also really nice too. Fiat Lux is your go-to. Really good for clearing mid lane and getting some good 1v1 initiations to set up her bleed. I would tend to run this more than Thick Skin. I've run both before. I've ran both before and they're both solid. Crossbow is also really good. Set up your bleed initiation. Or you can go for the major damage and set up Sharpened Blade and absolutely decimate your opponent with your kidney stabs. Fear Itself or Last Laugh. Last Laugh is the best in my opinion. I don't care about Fear Itself. I'd rather just blow someone up after they don't execute me. So with Peacekeeper, the main thing that she's going to be trying to use is this right here. This is your bread and butter, okay? So a lot of people, it only comes from one side, so if you kind of block top, you should be fine. But then again, if you don't block the zone attack, then you enter her mix-up. So if you don't block that, and if you don't parry that, boom, you eat all that damage. And she can also soften into this here, into dodge, cancel, recovery. And if you're not parrying her, boom, shakalaka. Enhanced lights as well. You see that? Enhanced lights on that puppy right there. And now you have to respect her. A lot of Peacekeepers will tend to try to light you out of a lot of things, so just get ready for that. A lot of fun mix-up that I tend to do as well. If they're already bleeding, you do a forward dodge heavy to mix up their timing. So a lot of people try to parry your light attack here, and I tend to not use that as much. So what I tend to do is I will let this fly, or I will do a forward dodge heavy, just like that. And then boom, shakalaka. A lot of damage, honestly. Peacekeeper has one of the highest damage dodge attacks in the game. I believe it's 18. Correct me if I'm wrong. So that's one of the highest damage dodge attacks in the game. So if she can make very good reads and react well, she will have the advantage in punishing. She can soften from these moves here. And then if you do this into this, she also has very good recovery. You see that? My guard came back instantly. So it's really good for team fights. If you decide to try to peel for someone, you can easily just block certain attacks. Be careful though, if it's an unblockable heavy attack, you are pretty much screwed. You can parry it in time, depending on like what attack it is, but be careful because if you do something like that, you instantly go transition into a heavy attack. So it's kind of like a nerf, but also kind of a buff. Before, people would, Peacekeepers would do the bleed attack or just like an attack here. Like this, and they would parry instantly right afterwards if an attack came their way. So it's really good defensively, but now they have to initiate, which is more offense and less defense, which is not a bad thing at all. And so Peacekeeper has some really good stealth mechanics. You can grab people really far away, and then overall, you know, solid character that needs decent reactions, and you have to like pay attention to your role. Can't just anti-gank everything. Sure, anti-gank is pretty shit. Stalling is decent, but I would not recommend her for like a new player at all. You kind of have to like know your matchups. I don't even really want to go over the deflect because there's so much hyper armor in the game that you're gonna be kind of cooked if you go for a deflect. If you're going for deflects, then that's cool. Style points, sure, it goes to your chain mix-up, but there's a lot of hyper armor these days, so I tend to just parry stuff, you know. I tend to parry stuff because it's a lot safer. All right, up next we are going to be talking about our girl. The nightmare is finally over. Varangian guard, even though she did get some pretty big nerfs to her light attack, they are not enhanced anymore. She's still going to be a solid character simply due to that amazing full block. That full block literally stops time and space and keeps you pinned for such a long duration. I believe it's like 1600 ms or 1800 ms. Very, very long time. Plenty of time to target swap those unblockable heavies. Do anything you want with whoever decide to external attack you. So let's just go over her feats real quickly. So tier 1, you're going to kind of want to use Take Shelter. Honestly, a lot of her default feats are pretty amazing. Being able to heal your teammates, having more damage reduction is really nice too, but since her tier 2 does have Thrilling Comeback, I would kind of recommend using Thrilling Comeback, because if you do get Revenge, you get more HP, and that's super beneficial. I mean, 40 HP, that's pretty much 2 heavy attacks. You can survive pretty much anything. Then her tier 3, Acer Aura, is going to be incredibly good. And Punch Through is not really helpful with her anymore since her lights are not enhanced anymore. And then, of course, Reclaim the Land, Regenerate, or Stalwart Banner. Stalwart Banner for sure, Regenerate for the memes, but Reclaim the Land is really good. So let's just go over her moveset here really quickly. Her light attacks, as you can see here, boom, shakalaka. She has to actually utilize this bash a little bit more frequently. Not gonna be the strongest thing for the highest level of play here, but for the average player, this bash is still gonna be pretty unreactable and very decent for setting up ganks or initiating OOS pressure. And this light is still gonna be enhanced here. I'll just show you guys really quickly. That's gonna be your bread and butter mix here. Let's just watch and block. Boom, go into that. You can still utilize this a lot, going to this mix-up right here, going to the GB, empty dodge. This top one is a little bit more unreactable than the side ones, but that doesn't matter because the side one has great cleave and it does pin, so you can go into your 400 ms, I mean not 400 ms, 500 ms bash right there. Actually, I think it may be 500 ms, but you can do a bash into light, into another 50-50, and then guard break. If they decide to dodge, you can also do, you can also go ahead and let the unblockable fly and go for forward dodge bash to mix people up, because a lot of them tried to just do the empty guard break, which is a good mix up on its own. But going for the forward light, some people have dodge attacks, and you can instantly full block right afterwards when you do miss that forward light, and it's a really strong mix up. And you can full block literally everything afterwards. Her dodge attack is also insane. One of the best dodge attacks in the game. Huge hitboxes. It also makes you rotate at least 45 degrees, maybe even 90 degrees, honestly, across the map. So let's just show you here. The full block is just insane. I mean, you can literally look how long they last. Look how long it lasts. And there's a bunch of different variations for it. There's a light attack here for very quick damage. There's a top heavy for the most amount of damage. It's the side owner here is going to be 18 damage. And then you can also wall slide here for guaranteed top heavy. And then, of course, you can soft feint this puppy as well. Right there. Boom, shakalaka. Go into your mix up. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. I want you in my room. Varangian guard. So that's... Varangian guard is still absolutely insane. You have to respect her still. She's not a weak character at all. Not a weak character at all. She's just a little bit less oppressive because now you have to utilize that forward light and that forward dodge bash. You can also full, like, as you can see, she also has like pretty good recoveries right here as well. So keep that in mind. You can dodge out of for full blocks, do whatever you want to get out of a different, to reposition if you needed to. It still heals everyone around you with that tier 1, so it's still beneficial to use that and do nothing. Or you can go for a zone attack, which is a very big cleaving hit, 17 damage, not too bad if you ask me. And then that's pretty much the character. I mean, she's not a weak character at all, like at all. A 600 ms zone attack, not the best zone attack, but everything in her kit is already tremendously good. I mean, she's got so much working for her. I don't think she needs any buffs whatsoever. I mean, look at that wall slide range. It's absolutely diabolical. Like, diabolical how much tools she has in her kit. Boom, boom, boom. Dodge attack. She also has crushing counters on this dodge attack as well. I'm trying to get it right here. There we go. So she can be very safe in that regard. You're gonna have to like be very careful in trying to like attack her. She will get this a lot of the times. I've gotten this so many times accidentally, it's hilarious. And now we go to Highlander. Highlander is honestly such a strong character now with his crazy rework, and he is absolutely god tier with hyper armor everywhere and amazing dodge attack, crushing counters, such as he's honestly pretty high skill curve once you try to master him, but obviously he does have a much lower skill floor than he used to. Still an incredibly strong pick, great ganks, great team fights, and amazing 1v1 potential. So for tier 1s, I like Running Rush because he's actually it's just incredibly slow in Mundana play. I think he's even faster than Kensei, but both those characters are incredibly slow. Body count is fine, fast recovery is also really good too. I like Running Rush though, so I can get to the point faster. It's a drag just running around with him. If you do die, of course, you shouldn't be dying in general. But Inspire, Winner's Advantage, both of these are tremendous for him because his unblockable heavies when he's in his offensive stance, it has so much phantom range, it's insane. Second one, Longbow, Fury, all these are amazing. 3 of these feats are, you can never go wrong with them. Spear Storm is, it did get nerfed a while ago, but it still does a crap ton of damage. You're still pretty much going to like one-shot somebody because most people aren't going to be full HP, but it's going to one-shot everybody. Fireflies or Champion's Aura. I usually go for the healing route, but all of these are fantastic choices. So with Highlander, he's a little bit tricky to use. Obviously, you can just do this. He does have a Beyblade mix-up here. Just go for this into more hyper armor. Boom, boom, boom into side heavy and continue to mix up. So he can feint a lot of his heavies here. He can still feint his heavies normally, as you can see there, but you can also go into stance right away afterwards, and there's a lot of emote stuff you can do with him, as you can see here. A lot of emote silly shenanigans that you can mix people up with. And of course, one of the strongest things about his kit is that when he's in this form here, he can do offensive stance lights. These are 400 MS. You will not be able to react to this if you are not 2 inches from your screen and if you are employed gamer. So this is his bread and butter. Unblockable heavy, has a crap ton of range, 26 damage, can soft feint into a kick mix up. Boom, you can also soft feint into caber toss if you wanted to. This is an incredible gank. Boom shakalaka. This fall light is pretty much guaranteed, so 26 plus 9, we're gonna do some quick math. That's gonna be about 35 damage. It's guaranteed 35 damage with this kick mix-up, and of course, this kick is feintable. You can just cancel into this, cancel into that, wait for an empty dodge, and then boom shot lockout, or you can feint it, go for a free guard break. Keep in mind, don't delay that heavy attack because there is a bug right now where if you delay it, he can block it. So it's very helpful to go right away, don't delay it, otherwise you're going to mess up some ganks for your teammates here. You could also go for the kick mix-up into a forward dodge caber toss if you decide, if you have a teammate ready to confirm with you. So that's what I would recommend doing, because once he's in that pin, he takes full amount of damage. And check that out, this is an amazing dodge attack. This has such a huge hitbox, and you're able to maneuver around the map with the 90-degree turn. He has like 2 different versions of the dodge attacks. He can also do this into a kick mix-up, very hard to GB, and then boom, boom, boom. And a lot of pseudo mix-ups you can do. A lot of people try dodging this, so as soon as they start dodging that, you can instantly go into that, the caber toss, and mess them up. So that's why Highlander should not be messed with, because this is also enhanced as well. It does take a lot of stamina here, but the amount of damage that you get, you can also guard break like this, and then go for a wall splat. Boom. There's just so much damage you can do here with Highlander, and that's why he's an S tier pick. This caber toss right here is an insane ganking tool. If someone's in a hit stun on a heavy attack, you can easily just land the Highlander gank right here. It's incredibly scary to be stuck with a Highlander that knows how to gank, or a team that knows how to gank in general. But you're pretty much cooked here. Like, there's no way you survive that in a gank setup. Realistically against good players, like you're pretty much going to die. So let's top his defensive stance. Double lights is going to be still pretty threatening. This is reactable. They're all 500 MS, but this does have crushing counter properties. I'll just show you guys real quick. It does have crushing counter properties, and it goes into 18 damage. 18 damage hit right there. You can also go into your mix-up right away. Defensive stance mix-up. You can also cancel, and then wait for him to attack. Boom, boom, and then mix up. Boom. So that's kind of like the Highlander mix-up here. On neutral, you don't really have a strong neutral until you get into your offensive stance. So what you utilize is this zone here and your hyper armor. Boom, hyper armor, feint, and then they go to the parry. You do this, and then boom. That's how you play Highlander. Incredibly strong. So you have to like be very careful when you fight against, especially a good Highlander. And here we have Jormungandr. Jormungandr is going to be a solid, I think he's going to be a solid A tier character. I played this character a lot in matchmaking games. This hero has so many tools in his kit that you can easily mash and win your games. A lot of people pick him because he's easy to play, and what he does really, really well. And he has a lot of clutch potential too within his kit. Tons of damage and a lot of wall splat opportunities. And so he's definitely going to be an S tier, I mean not S tier pick, but a high A tier in my opinion. Against like the highest levels of players, you might have a rougher time with him, but if you know how to utilize some gang setups and abuse your hyper armor a little bit more and target swap, you should be fine with him for the most part. So let's go over his tier 1s here. Jotun Salve is going to be really helpful. Tierlist is also really good too to keep you on the offensive if you need to, or recover your stamina. Hamar's Favor, you get so much shield with landing your slam, and it's not that hard to land your slam because it is an unreactable mix-up. Zealot's Bolt is insane. You can also run punch through too because your chain lights are enhanced. So, I mean, his zone attack, a lot of people don't parry the zone that much, but I feel like this character, since he has enhanced lights from neutral and his chain, he can utilize this a lot. So, you know, it's fun to mess around with him, and the Twilight of the Gods is going to be your go-to. He's freaking strong. He's got a lot going for him. A lot of hyper armor. This forward dodge heavy also has hyper armor as well. He can also soft feint it. Look at that, like that. A lot of soft feints into GB, so you can kind of utilize that instead of going for just a forward dodge bash right here. So he already has the forward dodge bash mix up right here. Very good. And then go into that. You can also throw a zone for 1 more damage here if you wanted to. And then go into pin mix up. This is going to be your strongest tool right here. This is unreactable, and you get a crap ton of damage. 26 damage for that. You can land it on a light attack. You can land on a heavy attack. And you can land it on a wall splat. So top heavy, boom, shakalaka. And this is more damage if they are near a wall. It's 12 damage plus 22. You can just land that. It's pretty easy. Otherwise, if you're not near the wall or you don't think you're going to get it, it's 10 damage. So you do the light input, it's a knee attack, it's 10 damage, and then top heavy for the most amount of damage. The side one only does 20 damage, so keep that in mind. But the reason why they're so low is because of that right here. You see that? Boom, shakalaka. Boom, right there. For 22 damage. You can also do a zone attack too, as you can see here. Boom, shakalaka for 24 damage. So this is why the Jormungandr is so good, because he can keep continually attacking with an infinite chain. So if you're not parrying these, he continues to chip you down. So it's 3 chip damage with punch through. It's going to be 6, I believe. So if you're not parrying these attacks, you're going to be pretty much at the mercy of Jormungandr. Check that out. Boom. And then of course his slam. It's going to do so much damage. You could also opt out for a zone attack right here, enhanced zone, if you think people are going to try to interrupt you. It's still 24 damage, which is very fair and strong. I don't know about fair actually, because it's actually very good. But this has a huge hitbox, and if you're getting like ganked, this is a good alternative because you are able to get damage in, and you're able to continue your move in case you want that guy to die, because your pin no longer has your pin slam it used to have hyper arm, but now it doesn't. So this can be very good too, this forward dodge heavy, because if they try to guard break you, they're gonna bounce off. So it's pretty good GB vulnerabilities. And then I mean, that's pretty much it about Jormungandr. There's not much else to say about him. He's got a lot of infinite chains, are very good for the casual level play here, and having neutral hyper armor goes a long way. Even though the damage is not that high, being able to get that clutch potential right here on that wall splat just makes him an absolute god tier character for, you know, casual play. And that's all we really need to think about, because if they have hyper armor, it's instantly a better character, like instantly. Now Raider is going to be a pretty simple and straightforward character. Raider is still an absolutely insane character. I mean, comparative to the rest, his kit is not that in depth. It really just comes out to heavy attacks and hyper armor, and then running around with your stampede charge. That's the gist of Raider, and that's good because it works. It's strong, it worked, it's great for ledging people. Hyper armor has always been a great thing to give to a character that, you know, that makes them an S tier pick. But they've been nerfing his damage, they've been buffing his damage here and there throughout the years. But I think he's in a pretty decent spot. I think the only thing he probably needs is like a roll catcher, since his forward dodge light doesn't really have any range whatsoever. But I digress. Let's go over his feats. I like using rush so I can get to the point as fast as possible. You can run body count or Tierlist, totally up to you. You could also run inspire or bear trap to set up some ledges. Second wind, fury, battle cry. I like to run battle cry the most because this gives a huge damage buff to your entire team, while also if you're in the minion lane, it will scare away all the minions. So if you want to clear a minion lane really fast without taking the minions and getting points or renown, that's totally on you. I love this one. I mean, it's literally a 25% damage boost for tier 3 and your entire team gets it. So I think it's a little bit better than fury, and it's better than second wind, but that'll be on your playstyle. Fire Flask or Stalwart Banner, totally up to you. So Raider consistently is just going to be heavy attack. You want to be delaying these heavies too to mess up people's time. You see how long I'm delaying these? It will really mess up people's timings, and then you start throwing out those storming tasks, which are pretty much unreactable to the most of the player base here. And then you want to try to utilize your unblockable zone as much as possible. And then boom, these heavies do a lot of damage. As you can see here, all of his heavy attacks are soft feintable. that goes into Stampede Charge, and Stampede Charge is just insane because it deals a lot of damage. It's more than a normal guard break. I believe it's like 26 damage or something like that. And then if you're near a wall, you can also do this into top heavy. We can land it. I think we can land it again. Boom. There we go. And Stampede Charge is great because once they're on the wall here, on the floor here, this is not damage reduction. And that makes so that your teammates can land a lot of damage on them without any damage reduction. So you can either do a heavy attack or a zone for that extra hit stun. So if you wanted to ledge them, that's what I would do. But if you just wanted to get a normal attack in without using too much stamina, then I would just go for the normal heavy attack. And keep in mind, if you decide to go for a normal heavy attack and you don't continue your mix-up, you do like a heavy into GB, he has plenty of time to light check you. So keep that in mind. I would not go for an unblockable mix unless they're out of stamina, because a lot of people will just light check you. I'll just show you real quick here. So if I do this and I do this, I go for this, I do unblockable zone. See how much time he has? He can easily zone me right there, or just dodge away. So it's very important that you do so. One neat thing too is that Raider also has that forward dodge GB, which is very helpful for people that try to roll away. So he does need a roll catcher, but this is really good for people who back roll. So Raider is great in that regard. And that unblockable zone from neutral, so strong. This is great for team fights, great for characters like Varangian Guard, Kyoshin. This is so strong. A lot of people, a lot of people abuse the crap out of this because it's one of his best moves in the game. And of course we have the top heavy. Top heavy. Did you do your taxes yet, Warden? Okay. So that's pretty much Raider. I mean, the triple chain lights, the dodge attack, I will say it's not the best dodge attack. You can delay it to a tremendous degree, but he loses a lot of iframes. So you will get clipped in team fights a lot. You could easily do that, ledge people, and that's why Raider is still an insane pick for most of the matchmaking lobbies. So with Shaman Mama, our woodland gremlin, she is gonna be, I'm gonna put her in crap tier. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, she's an insane duelist and whatnot, but the amount of times I see Shaman players running around, I think they're just like drawn to me. It makes my life miserable. It makes anybody's life miserable, honestly. A good shaman that knows what they're doing, it is definitely beneficial if you know the gank and whatnot, if they know what, externally means, or target swapping, but most of them don't, and most of them just dodge attack from neutral, even though it's a 2v1 situation. So that is just, it hurts my heart, it hurts my soul, and it gives me PTSD from it. I might get deep vein thrombosis. However, let's just go over her tier 1s real quickly. You can use Rush to go fast. I love using this. Stealth is also fantastic as well. Storming Trap, you can set up on bridges so you can ledge people. Bear Trap is also nice. I just run Flesh Wound to have a little bit more survivability in team fights or in 1v1s because I do like to engage people who are in 1v1s, trying to get them separated. That's kind of the playstyle you want to play with Shaman. She kind of plays like Peacekeeper, but a much worse Peacekeeper. Fury is good. Second Wind is great. Hand Axe if you want to initiate some bleed setups. All great choices in my opinion. And then you can either run Fire Blast or Nail Bomb. So the character in itself is going to revolve around these soft fangs. These are all 400 MS. They're very scary. When you're 1v1 against her, these stack and it's freaking disgusting. The things that she can do after that finisher heavy, she can land the bleed follow-up afterwards, so you have to respect that. And if you do get guard broken, she gets a huge amount of damage. I believe the total is like 42 damage or 40. It's a very high amount of damage. So the initial hit is 1 and then 4, and then you get the tag. Those bleed ticks, boom, shakalaka, and then it's as soon as she grabs them, the bleed goes away. So keep that in mind when you are going for like a bleed setup with Shaman Mama. She only gets 22 damage heavies, but if you do manage to get a guard break, you can also go for the bleed and set up more pressure here. As you can see, you can feint these, you can bait stuff out. You can also throw the heavy as well. This is a roll catcher here. It's a very good roll catcher. The right side is faster. It's 500 MS. These left ones are very slow, but they have slightly better tracking. This top one is probably something I would not recommend using at all. She can also soft feint a lot of her chain heavy attacks, so that's kind of helpful if you want to mix someone up here. So you can do this into this here, soft feint, and you can get a wall splat, which is really cool with their forward dodge bash, and initiate that with the pounce. So the pounce itself is incredibly fast, and that's why she's scary in 1v1s, because you can just land a heavy attack. You can also just land a bleed if you do get this. This is an unreactable mix, but it does cost a lot of stamina. You You can go for that, another one like this, and just continually bleed them, and then you can soft feint into a bite. So if they want to go for parries, you can just set up a bite right there. These light attacks have pretty poor range, but they are double lights, and then you can delay them, mess up people's timing, and then go for the bash. And this bash, her throw distance is one of the best throw distance in the game. You see how far that is? That's literally half the map that I threw that warden to. So she is one of the best characters for ledging players, and you have to respect her. So try not to go for too many parries against shaman. I would try checking her more with zone attacks or like light attacks, but her zone attack here is also very good. Don't use it for initiation because you can parry the second hit of her zone attack. So that one right there, boom, that one you can parry easily. Even if you block it, you can parry the second hit. This second hit of the zone attack is also parryable as well. So if you do manage to block all four of them, all three of them, boom, you can parry that last one right there. So that's one of the, I mean, shaman in itself is a fairly simple hero, but she's a good 1v1er, but she's a very bad team fighter, and she requires a little bit of patience to play. A lot of shamans out there will literally just keep attacking for days and days and days and just get themselves killed and feed a lot of revenge. So shaman's a great character. She's a fun character in ones, but in team fights in Dominion where you have no hitboxes whatsoever, she is going to suffer, so don't play her like a maniac. So here we have our Thunder Thighs Valkyrie. Now Valkyrie, she is, don't get me wrong, she ain't weak, that's for sure, but I think she is a little bit lackluster in comparison, and a lot less straightforward in comparison to the rest of the cast. You know, she doesn't have any access to unblockable finisher heavies, undodgeable heavies. She doesn't have a fast neutral startup bash. She has to go into a forward dodge into a full block setup within her bash. So I think she's a lot trickier to play, and a lot of people don't pick her up for that specific reason. They want someone who's easy, you can easily just light attack, bash spam, dodge attack spam, and just have an easier time, such as with Varangian, and have hyper armor just like Lawbringer or Shugoki. Those characters are much easier to play, but if you do get good with Valkyrie, she is a menace to, I mean, to kick ass with, especially in the battlefield when you're fighting against people who don't know the matchup, because a lot of people actually don't know how to fight against Valkyrie. And so with her tier 1, I tend to run Rush or, I mean, Bounty Hunter, but I mean, to be fair, all of these are great. You can just mess around with whatever one you want. Bounty Hunter is really good for getting HP back when you do kill someone. Bloodlust or Juggernaut. I tend to run Juggernaut to be a tank so I can set up and throw heavy attacks for days. So she does give hyper armor, but only on that tier 2 setup. Javelin is just your go-to, and Fury is also insane too, but I'd rather run the 50 damage projectile here. And then Fire Flask or Scout or Regenerate. I mean, all these are just fine. Scout, obviously, go for that as a tier 2 for the tier 4, but I would choose Fire Flask every single time. So let's go over her mix-up. So the playstyle for Valkyrie kind of revolves more around heavy attacks because her light attacks are only 500 MS. They do have crush and counter properties, which is nice. However, I'm not going to be able to crush and counter these light attacks on reaction. They do have crush and counter properties, which is cool. Goes into her chain mix-up here. She doesn't have access to like any fast chain 4 MS light attacks. They're all 500 MS, even that finisher bash, which is nice. As you can see here, this is kind of her clutch potential. If they're near a wall right there, she can get a heavy attack. If they're very close though, to the wall, she doesn't get a heavy attack, she gets a light attack. So let me just show you here. So you can't get a heavy right here. Well, see that guard came back, so I'm not able to get anything. So if I do this, I can only get a light attack, so you have to kind of remember that. With Valkyrie, her main mix-up is just going to be this right here. She's going to go into this. She can be guard broken out of it, but if you do it instantly, you're not going to be able to get hit. You're not going to be able to get guard broken. And it's 18 damage. It's a lot of damage, honestly. A lot of damage. So the main thing is that she's going to be throwing heavies and kind of reacting to, you know, what they do and setting up your offensive reads here. So you can easily dodge out of it, as you can see here. So they want to try dodge bashing you really early. A lot of Valkyries will tend to just stay here and like wait for a reaction. A lot of people try to light attack you, zone attack you, heavy attack you. You can easily start letting this fly. A lot of times you can just empty and just do nothing, just feint it, and then see if a reaction comes up. They dodge early because this is a 400 MS bash. It's a very fast bash. It is pretty much unreactable. So if you want to, you know, if they anticipate you letting it fly, you can easily just guard break them out. If they want to dodge attack, you just stay here and let them hit you. Or you can also deflect into it I'm just gonna show you real quick on how you can do that too. So as you can see here, I'm gonna go into here, and you can easily mess them up right here. Boom, 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 into your chain mix-up here. Another thing too is that she does have a pin. This is 500 MS, sets up some great pins here. Easy damage for your teammate to land, and then boom, boom. And you can't be guard broken out of that if you do miss. And if they want to keep trying to dodge, you can easily set up right here. Set up a wall splatter here. Boom. Easy damage right there. Easy damage. And so, neat thing you can do too is that you can also deflect with this as well. Here, I'll just show you. Boom, boom. It's a very cool deflect. I love that animation. It's probably one of the coolest deflects out there and going to your chain mix-up. It's very sick. So it's a pretty cool mix-up you can do. Another thing too is that you can go for a guard break as well. Right there. That is guaranteed. Another thing too is that you can also, on like very slow heavy attacks, you can stop and then you can just guard break them. I'll show you guys. On characters like Highlander, if you're fighting like a Highlander or someone with a very slow heavy, this is really dependent on what characters you fight and matchup knowledge. So if you know that a character such as Highlander or very slow heavy is able to throw out very slow heavies, and you can easily just block them, in that full block, you can get a guaranteed guard break without having to deflect it. So if they just hit that full block, it's pretty freaking insane on on what you can do. So I think Celtic Curse does, you are able to guard break it. So I'll just show you guys here really quick. See right there, Highlander cannot guard break there. So I'm just gonna make it so that he counter guard breaks, so that you guys can see if it is for real or not. See right there, no counter guard break attempt. So if I delay it, oh, never mind. If I delay it, I'll counter guard break right here. He counter guard breaks. So that's kind of a neat thing that Valkyrie has going for her. And like I said, this is gonna be all matchup dependent. You'll have to like learn the ins and out of this character. So if you know that Highlander is weak to this, he's gonna be trapped. So I'll delay like ever so slightly. Oh, he bounces off too slow though. Bounces off way too slow. So that's kind of a neat thing, right? She also has a forward dodge bash as well that you can utilize. So it's kind of a very slow bash. So if a wall splat, go for that for the max amount of damage so that your teammate can get some easy damage in. So, I mean, that's kind of the gist of Valkyrie. She has a very slow, zone attack that goes into her bash right here. But like I said, she's a little bit tougher to use. You have to kind of learn your matchups and play a little bit slower, because if you just start throwing out lights and lights and lights, they're gonna get parried. But if you start learning her matchups, she's actually quite a scary character to fight against, like actually very scary. All right, we're nearing the end now, and we have our big boy Jormungandr. So we have Warlord here. Warlord, easy A tier in my opinion. He has pretty good safe utility, a decent, pretty good stall. His ganks like aren't the best, but he can ledge people, man. Like, what more do you want? Honestly, what more do you want? He's freaking insane for that. So let's just go over his feats here. It's gonna be a solid 80 character because of all that hyper armor. Like I said, hyper armor makes and breaks a character. So I would run either Rush or Deadly to get a point super duper fast. Juggernaut is just no brainer. You could also run Flesh Wound. I do mess around with Flesh Wound from time to time here, or Bear Trap to set up your ledges. Fury, Tough as Nails. You can also do a Tough as Nails build with a huge amount of HP with bulk up, or you can run Punch Through, which is also pretty beneficial to him too, because his lights aren't enhanced, so you can continue to be in frame advantage and just throw out those heavies and light attacks willy-nilly. And then of course, honestly, all of his tier 4s are pretty decent. Fire Flash, Auto Revive, and Regenerate, since he does have very high HP pool. But with that being said, let's just go over his moveset. I mean, very simple, 2 chain hit character, hyper armor on everything, as you can see here, so you kind of have to respect that. He also has enhanced light attacks, as you can see here, so if you don't parry these, he gets to do this, into this here, into this, and if you do get guard broken, this is going to deal so much stamina damage. You see how much stamina damage that did? That is so much damage. And then of course his main bread and butter is going to be this headbutt here. Pretty easy to get damage off of him. He does kind of like end his chain just by starting with the neutral heavy afterwards. So you have to try to abuse your hyper armor as much as you can, and those wall splats. Like, that's what makes him so freaking strong, is that once he does grab you, there's no way you're getting your stamina. You have to play defensively, otherwise you are in for a big nasty time. Like, look at that. Well, I'm gonna get hit by that one. So crushing counters makes him safe in team fights and in 1v1s. Kind of have to respect that. He also has a full block as well, which is going to guarantee quite a bit of damage. It is a guaranteed left light attack right here, which for 15 damage, so it's not too shabby at all. Very good. He also has different options from it as well. You can do a headbutt that deals a lot of stamina damage. It will not track some characters though, so keep that in mind. You have to be very wary and know your matchups. So this is a very cool mix-up to do, but it takes a crap ton of stamina. You have to be careful. He also has an undodgeable. This is a heavy input that goes into a lot of damage. I believe it's 24 damage. You can also do a zone attack here. This is a different input, but it has a farther reach in case you want to use it from try to catch someone who's dodging away from you. This one right here is going to deal a lot of damage. It's gonna execute, and you can just also do nothing. But a neat thing too is that you can also crush and counter from out of it. So you can see that you can light attack out of it if you wanted to anticipate someone that's trying to like guard break you. But if you want, if someone's trying to like guard break you, you can use it preemptively. I don't think it's reactable. If you react to the guard break, I don't think you can react to the guard break. You keep conditioning them to throw, you're gonna throw light attacks. You can easily mess them up by throwing heavy attack afterwards. It's an amazing mix-up that I use all the time, and it works 67% of the time, all the time. And of course he has crashing charge to ledge people, also stuns them and makes it so that they fall off the cliff and makes them rage quit. So that's kind of like a bonus that Warlord has, the rage quitting moveset here. All skill involved, remember that, all skill involved. And that's pretty much the gist of Warlord. I mean, the forward heavy right here is pretty decent tracking sometimes, but it's incredibly slow. It has hyper armor. You can use it as a crazy option select, and that's pretty much it. And finally, we have the last hero or last character. It's gonna be Berserker. Berserker is just gonna be a solid freaking A tier character. He's like him and Orochi have been nerfed on his dodge attacks, where they don't have that enhanced property when they are target swapping into a different character and they hit someone who's external. He doesn't have that anymore, but the truth be told, he didn't really need that in the first place. He still has literally hyper armor on almost every single attack, all of his chain attacks that at least. So that already makes and breaks him. It makes him incredibly strong and viable in 1v1 and 4v4, being able to just dance around 24/7 and not have to respect. You don't have to respect that much, you know. You don't have to respect that much at all, except for some full block characters. You don't have to respect kyoshin, or even aramusha sometimes. Depends if you do clip them on their blockade or their full block. Kyoshin, you don't have to respect it as much, because if he hits that full block and you go into unblockable heavy, he's pretty much screwed. So you have that matchup against him. But let's go over his feats here. Bounty Hunter, you always want to run this. Bounty Hunter's insane. You also want to run Doom Banner, really good for team fights, or Bear Trap. Throwing Axe is your go-to. This is so freaking fast. It's 300 MS and deals freaking so much damage. 25 damage for 60-second cooldown on tier 3. Pretty insane. You can also run Fury Flask, but I tend to just stick with the Axe because you can finish people off pretty quickly and use it in the beginning of a fight. And then Fire Flask or Fear itself is your go-to. So this is going to be the character. Boom, boom, hyper armor, hyper armor, hyper armor, 4 MS chain light attacks. You want to delay these light attacks as much as possible. See how far I'm delaying these? And they still have hyper armor. So once they, start to go for parries, you can let some heavies fly like that. Boom! It is crazy. You can also throw some heavies out right here too. Sometimes you just let some heavies fly. Go into unblockable mix. Remember, these are unblockables. You can do it on every single. That top one is always going to be unblockable no matter what, and it does a crap ton of damage. His neutral lights are only 500 MS lights, so you don't want to use them that much. But you can use them neutral. Use them from neutral if you backstep. So if you backstep, you can go into a undodgeable, unblockable mix-up here. And it's not like the best tool to initiate, but if someone's not ready for you to like light check you or like forward dodge bash you or just backstep, then you should be fine for the most part. You can also zone after recoveries as well. So boom, and then zone afterwards right there to keep him like safe from like certain things. But otherwise he has dodge cancels, as you can see here. You can just dodge cancel for days, and he can be safe in team fights a lot of the time. It doesn't really matter where you are. You can just kind of throw this out willy-nilly. As long as you're target swapping away from the person that's like looking at you, you should be fine. Also goes into a chain mix-up. You can also just keep doing this mix-up here. This is just light, heavy, and it's insane. It works. It works. So unblockable heavy into delayed light attack, blockable heavy into this. I mean, there's just so much you can do. And this is the best roll catcher in the game. This is the best roll catcher in the game. 26 damage. the phantom range on this is so strong that you will get stage 4 cancer. It's so strong. Look, I'm not even like near him and I'm hitting him. You see that hitbox? How is that even real? It's not. But forward heavy is really good tracking. This thing will catch anybody who rolls away from you. You can't run from Berserker. I think he has the best roll catcher in the game, like literally the best. And that's just a no-brainer. But forward dodge lights, it's very slow. Don't use this. It's a very bad move to use. You can't just use it on a reaction dodge. So if you unblock, you see them dodge, you go for the forward light. Boom. But if you're too slow, don't do it, because if someone like unlocks like this and gets ready, they'll be ready to deflect it or parry it. He also has a deflect, which is pretty freaking amazing. Deflect is probably one of the best deflects in the game here, because it instantly stops them from doing anything, and it breaks through hyper armor, and it breaks through everything. So you can also do a top heavy for more damage, for 29 damage, 28 damage. Wait a second, did they nerf it? They must have. So it can beat hyper armor, you can out trade hyper armor, boom, you can win those trades, and that's why Zerker is the freaking GOAT. So otherwise, there's not much to do with Zerker. You literally just keep attacking for days and you can win. So characters that have hyper armor, you can keep attacking. They're great. They're great for characters that are noobs and they can just like chill and relax. They're for the employed gamers. And there's also a backward zone, but I wouldn't say it's useless. It does have its perks. You can kind of use it whenever you want. You kind of bait stuff out. But I wouldn't recommend using it that much, because you will lose a lot of trades. But that's Berserker for you. So with that being said, we finished Berserker, and we just put me in the crap tier, washed up tier in the For Honor matchmaking lobbies. So I think we are pretty much done here. Let's go over and order them up now. So from like strongest, at least in my opinion, the strongest to the weakest characters. I think if Nobushi's gonna stay up there, she's a freaking top tier character. Afeera I'm gonna definitely put up there as well. Jane June, I think Jane June is, oh my god, he's such a hyper carry hero. Shugoki's insane. I think Orochi's still gonna be like super duper carry. I think the weakest out of all these heroes would be Blackbriar. That requires a little bit more finesse, because he can easily be baited if you're good at the game, but if you're really, really good, then he's gonna absolutely stomp you. Lawbringer is going up there. He's going way, way up there in my opinion. I think Shinobi is good where he is. He's an absolutely noob stomper and can dance around the field wherever he wants. Aramusha, he is so much stronger now, but I still think Shaolin has more capabilities. Varangian guard, I think, is going to be better. She has more versatility with her full block. Hitokiri, I kind of want to put her in like a little bit stronger than these guys. I might put her above Aramusha, because at least with Aramusha, if you start messing up your blockades, Hitokiri will just mess you up with her heavy attack. So I think she's a little bit easier to play than Aramusha, because you can just throw heavies. But Highlander, I'll keep Highlander here, Orochi here, and then Blackbriar here. Don't get me wrong, all these characters are very strong. They're all about like the same level of play, but like I said, this is what like I kind of struggle with. Nobushi, in your revenge, you have to focus her. She's gonna bleed you to death, and you're gonna die, like 100% sure after the revenge. So I'm very scared of her. She's like the biggest threat in the entire game, in my opinion, right now. And then I'm scared of Afeera with her very safe utility, her feats. Jane June, those far-reaching unblockable heavies, hyper armor, forward dodge bash being safe, shinobi gank, hyper armor galore, bash spam with lawbringer. You know, compared to all these guys have like more. There's things you can do to counteract these, but these guys are just so scary. But sohei, well, let's put Gryphon up here. I think Gryphon is absolutely top tier. He's super close to S tier in my opinion. Gryphon would be like very close to S tier, but I don't put him in A tier because I feel like he's a little bit more balanced. And then where's Tiandi? Tiandi's going up there. He's super scary character, ocelotl, insane ganks. I'm gonna put Warden up here. Warden and Warmonger pretty much in the same place, and then Centurionn because of his ridiculous ganks. I'll leave Sohei here. Sohei is so brain dead right now that you can just win with hyper armor. I'll put Pirate up here because Pirate has still really good ganks and hyper armor setups. Stops hyper armor with her pistol blast, great feats. Survivability is ridiculous. Kyoshin for his gank setups. I think Raider is better than Kyoshin. I mean, Raider is better than Zhanhu, but I think Kyoshin is better than Raider because you have to make more reads on Kyoshin. Kyoshin, I think, has better offensive pressure. Let me see here. We got Raider, and they got Zhanhu. I think Zhanhu. Well, Zerker is much. I think Zerker is much better than Zhanhu. Like much better. Raider and Zerker are kind of interchangeable. Both hyper armor characters. Zhanhu, Jormungandr, Warlord. I mean, these are, I'd say they're about the same, interchangeable here. Warlord might be better. No, I think Jormungandr is better. He has better gank setups than Warlord. Warlord's ganks are pretty mid, but he's a great staller. Also, Jormungandr is a great staller as well. Kensei, I'd say that's a pretty good choice, but I think Valkyrie is stronger than Kensei when it comes to like gank setups. Although Kensei does have the triple heavy ganks, but they're both great team fighters, solid characters. And then I'll say, you know, I think Medjay might be better than Kensei. He has better ganks. Medjay has better ganks, I think. So I mean, both these characters are pretty decent, in a pretty decent spot. I'll put Peacekeeper up here. She's a little bit stronger than hawktun, if I say so myself. And Gladiator, still a strong character. Both these characters are very strong, easy to gank. Great pins, so I'll leave them there. And then of course Nuxia and Conqueror. Doesn't really matter. Both these characters are like kind of meh. Like they're okay. I think Conqueror's okay. Conqueror's kind of close to like A- tier in my opinion, but I think Nuxia is just gonna stay down here because I think she's very hard to use. And then Shaman, of course. I think that looks good. So what do you guys think about my tier list? Hope you guys enjoyed. The video is pretty long. I kind of went the different format because I want to showcase some movesets, so it's a little bit more clear instead of showing background gameplay. Because I might go back to the background game because this also took a while to make. Because I'd rather just kind of play the game and put it in the background and just go over my thoughts and whatnot. So let me know what you guys prefer, if you want to do the gameplay or you want me to showcase this, because this is kind of better for like new players because they can see what is actually good and what you shouldn't be doing. Because I did give like a few tips and tricks within some characters, but you know, you guys will have to let me know your opinions down in the comment section down below. Appreciate you guys watching and hope you guys enjoyed the video. Much love, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye bye, see you later.